When guys text you, did you take the plan B? No. I forgot. I forgot.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Before we begin, let me throw some other music on side. Let's see what this one is. Let's hit it. Let's get it. Everything. Yes. Let me stretch and adjust myself a little bit. Where is my water? All right. Welcome to another session here on the Chaos Rain channel. As you know, I go by the name Chaos Rain. And today's stream is going to be controversial. And it's all in good intentions, personally. And it's something that I have done a short little upload on this subject. And I think I'm going to expound more on it from my perspective. But before we begin, if you're new to the Chaos Rain channel, welcome to the Chaos Rain channel. And for those that will be future subscribers, how you subscribe to Chaos Rain, the Chaos Rain, you know the drill. You hit that red button. You hit that top notification bell. Not the middle, not the low. That's no good. You don't get nothing from middle and lower. The party where it's at is on the top notification bell. When you see the bell, is so elaborated that once the bell goes ding, 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 you know where there's uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, I would love everybody to head over to Twitter to follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Chaos Rain 7 is my Twitter. Hold on a second. We got a lot of weird bugs here. And also, you can now follow me on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And please join the Discord service. The Discord is in the About section on the Chaos Rain channel. And let me see if I should drop the links for those. Let me see if I can find it. I might do that. Let me do that right now. For the Discord link, let me go now and drop that for those that want to join and be the few patrons on Discord to join me and have the conversation and interact with me on Discord. Let me see. Let me find the link for Discord. Ah, yes, here it is. And I'll double check if it's active. Okay. Continue. Hold on. All right. Hold on, guys. I think I opened the app, so let me check the app. And I'll drop my Discord link. All right. Let's see if this is the one. Hold on, guys. You know, it's funny with Discord. I have not really messed with enough. Let me do this. All right, let me generate this link here. Okay, so this is the Discord service of the Chaos Rain channel. So I'm gonna put it now for those to join Discord. I'm trying to grow the Discord service. I want it to be more interactive on other parts of social media. There's Discord link to join Discord. And what else? Shit. And one other thing. As you know, I do have Clubhouse. I'm not on Clubhouse often like I usually be, but I am making my presence on Clubhouse a little more. Me and the Great Liberator are on Clubhouse, so we're gonna probably do some streams on Clubhouse as well. Grow the following over there. As you know, I do simulcast sometimes on Clubhouse. So in time, I will drop my link to my Clubhouse. I have a few followers on my Clubhouse, but I don't use it much because, like I said, Clubhouse is still a new thing to me, and I don't use it much to do much content on it. So, like I said, I'm going to be bouncing around certain social media sites and get a different perspective, different look, as you know. And as you know, what's going on social media has been catching waves with a lot of things. The great Bill Russell has passed away. To, you know, we have unrealistic, huge women want to how can I say feel that they are entitled to a man. I mean, it's getting all over the place. It's getting crazy out here, guys. That's all I gotta say. It's getting very crazy. Only thing I can tell most brothers, you just gotta be more active and careful out here. Even to the point they're talking about this thing with Neo, and I don't know, man. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm thinking if I should even entertain covering some of this stuff. But like I said, keep an eye on things because I might cover those other stories down the line, depending on my mood. So they'll look out for those. Also, because I'm gonna be doing some content this week, you're gonna be seeing me more active. So anything comes to mind, you're gonna see me drop it on the fly. So be on the lookout for that, and make sure you catch all the previous videos I've done as well. I mean, let's be honest, I do drop content, and it is there and it's available. And I do want feedback to a lot of things I do to give a different outlook, different perspective. No credit to criticism, so please feel free. All right, I'm just going for one last thing. All right, and that's pretty much it. I see everything on here, and I guess we could start. Let me close this, and let me close some windows up in here. And like I said, I give people a few minutes to jump in here anyway, so when I would do these little intros and what's going on, announcements, I try to do it to give people some time. And no better time than the present. That's who else is here? All right. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so let me close this window. And now, on to the subject at hand. Let's refresh this. All right. Oh, and make sure to like this video as you come in and share, please. All right. As you know, the subject matter tonight is titled, Does White Women Have Control on Black Men? This is very much a touchy. This is very much a touchy subject, a very controversial subject. Now, as y'all know, there are many videos floating around of a lot of Caucasian women saying that not only they have a certain vitriol to black men, but they said they have some sense of love and affection, wherever that is. And personally, I don't buy that bullshit. Personally, in my opinion, and the reason why, because let's be honest, and I've learned this from the great general himself. Only 20% get with black people, while the other 80% of the non-whites or any other racial demographics get with their own people. So when it comes to us as black folks, when we get or we date or we're outside the race, we're getting the lesser of their own people. I don't care what they tell you. And this goes for both sides, not only for the men getting the what they call lesser of their women, but also with the sisters. So knowing this and understanding as well that if these are the lesser people out of the 20% that will entertain, date, and procreate with us blacks, what are they really getting once they absorb black people and have the biracial kids? It's one thing you should keep in mind. But what else? Are they picking a certain gender of a biracial kid? Because when we look at male relationships with non-black women, it's not really that good in regards to longer marriage. And obviously, we always hear that black women, their marriage lasts a little longer with Caucasian or non-black men, and for good reason. The reason why that is because they are considered, quote unquote, the status to get them out of their blackness, to get out of what they call the poverty. But when we find behind closed doors, most of these chicks are working still. They're not getting like that so-called white woman privilege as what it seems to. There is a form of abuse in these relationships that is not only behind closed doors, but when it's revealed in front of public, they have to make excuse for the non-blacks why they busting your side of the head and give you black eyes and all this stuff. It's crazy. It's very crazy. But nonetheless, this is the way our people want it, and this is the way things are to go. So what video I probably will break down and give my take of why the Caucasian woman thinks and feels so. And we're going to do that right now. Let me see if I can find. Let me share this. All right. Where is my videotape? Let's look. And whew, this is crazy. Okay, found the tape or the video. Let's look at this.
Women love black men because of the power dynamic, because white women have never had any power over men in their lives.
Now we're gonna stop right there. If you never, as a Caucasian woman, had power over your own man throughout your existence, the biggest question asks, are you really guaranteed or entitled to have power over men, including your own man? Should be the biggest question you should be asking yourself. Because throughout Western history or world history, when we call non-whites, that non-whites did not rule, aka black people, we ruled and controlled pretty much the world and kept it in a certain way and brought some sense of balance during the time of our rulership. Before we decide to either drop the ball or we just let it fall or whatever case may be, we start to give the shift of power to other groups of people, particularly non-black people. But let's keep going on.
Because obviously all the white men in their lives have always had all the power over them. So white women have whiteness over black men. And obviously to be in any sort of like control feels good, especially when you're used to never being in control.
Now, and let me raise my volume up a little bit. I want to make sure I hear this. Hold on. Oh, that's slow. That's why I can't hear it. There we go. I'm going to rewind that because I want to make sure I heard that.
For men in their lives. Because obviously all the white men in their lives have always had all the power over them. So white women have whiteness over black men. And obviously to be in any sort of like control feels good, especially when you're used to never being in control.
So one thing, whiteness, as this woman is displaying, and most Caucasian women will keep it honest, keep it real. How you doing? And if for those that wants to come up and have this dialogue, please, I know y'all ladies and gentlemen in the chat room, don't be shy. If you want to come up and fight me on this or give your own logical take on this, please ask, say you want to join the conversation, say you want the link. And I'll post it in and eventually bring you up. But it seems to her said that the only thing this Caucasian woman has over the Negro male, or they call them a Negro boy, is whiteness. Which unfortunately I have to agree with this bullshit. And the saddest thing about whiteness, it goes in many directions. I remember Mr. Carroll, before he passed, said that this person's skin is royalty and gold and has very much a lot of less imperfections. When people see this light or white skin, they faint, they grovel, they drool, and they have a certain affinity and affection to things that is less than black. Because I will say this, and I always keep repeating this. Black is bad, black is evil, white is pure, white is God, white is divinity. In the psyche of the Negro person, man and woman, not just a man, also woman too. Because you are born and bred into the social order to become what we call whiteness. That to strip you all that thing, that African blah, 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 black garbage, to become them. And you must become them, not only in mind, but also you must become them genetically. So with this Caucasian woman that is admitting, say, the thing that she has over you, black boy or black man, is this whiteness. Not just woman, but also any woman that is white, light, and pretty much damn near bright. Let's continue.
White women feel safe with black men, not only because of the hypermasculinity that they believe black men exhibit, but because of the whiteness and power they hold over black men.
This white skin is more than just the skin color. It holds power over you Negroes. Now, a lot of men are going to say that's not true. This white beep does not hold the power of me. I don't care how white, bright, goddamn, and almost bright she has her, but it does. Because we see the actions of you Negroes. Words don't mean nothing to the general public. It's always what you goddamn do, Negroes. I see you, Negroes. This non-black person come in the door and make sure she doesn't have a round butt. You will be falling under you get on your knees in worship. And you will love and worship the soil or foot that she disposed or opposed near you. I think most brothers will sit there if a white woman comes in a room, stand next to him, and she looks not only not too fat, but let's say she's fat, she'll get the same outcome the same way. That all she had to do is step in and tell the Negro boy, get on your knees and kiss my foot. Boy, I think most of you Negroes possibly will do it. Unfortunately. And the sad thing about all this, that when she runs her mouth in boldness and in confidence, it's telling. But where does white woman get this confidence from? It should be questioned. She get this from y'all. There's no way hell Caucasian woman could be so confident in her actions and her rhetoric, saying that all she had to do is her whiteness is the gateway to heaven to a lot of non-white men, aka black men. And that's enough. She'll go crazy. She'll cuss you out. But at the end of the day, you'll love it. You'll love it. I heard about these, what they call the hot and spicy mamacitas. All I did was cuss you in Spanish. And it said, oh, ooh, I just hate this chick, bitch, but she's so spicy. Ooh, woo. That's where your guy's head is at. And I've seen it firsthand too, sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes I've seen it with my own ties, my own 2P eyes, including the sisters see it. I've seen it. And I'm thinking, wait, no woman can hold no power over me. I don't care how white or bright or damn near white or bright as the snow your skin is. You will not hold nothing on me because you're this skin color. I will act and treat you as is, like I treat possibly my own chick. Yes. Yes. Don't think you come in the room just as yourself with your white skin and the long hair, and that's enough for me to get on my knees and grovel because I'm looking at divinity. No, sweetie, you're going to have to do more than that. I can't speak for the other men, but I know we have some Negroes out here that will do so. They'll drink the nasty bathwater of the non-black woman, the Caucasoid, whether Spanish, white, or Asian, and it'll be good for him. I remember one time Dr. Rain Short said best, the juices of the non-black woman is like a nectar to you Negroes. You know we got some men out here, and they will suck the hell out the yoni like it's toffee. Okay, I see MJ. So let's continue.
This is why also white women can still be racist and be with black men. And be like conservative white women will be like married to a black man. And this is why white women love their black sons and hate their black daughters. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy.
Wait, let me rewind that back.
Let
me rewind that back. Wait. Who's ringing me? Come on, man. Do not do that. I'm streaming right now, man. Hold on. Ring right now. All right. Let me rewind that back. Okay. What?
This is why also white women can still be racist and
okay.
black men. And be like conservative white women will be like married to a black man. And this is why white women love their black sons and hate their black daughters.
Now, before we continue, there's a reason why she says this. Okay. But listen carefully, guys. Listen carefully. Why she said that the white woman or the non-black woman loves the so-called mixed boys than their mixed daughters. And mind you, I've heard about this for some time from various content creators. And I never really conceptualized and really believe it until I hear it from the mouths of these non-black women, these Caucasoid women. Personally. So let's go in and see why she says this.
Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Black sons give you access to the patriarchy. They give you power. Whereas black daughters don't.
Pause. Pause it right there. Oh, I forgot. I'll put this here. She said the black son gives them access to the patriarchy. Now, I'm hearing from Mr. Ig. What matter? Did Miss Igmore say that we live in a matriarchy, gynocracy? But why this white chick is telling she wants patriarchy, and she wants it through this mixed boy? Mixed son gives her access to patriarchy. Imagine that, bro. Imagine that. If you want the patriarchy, you must get a mixed black boy. Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. From what I'm understanding, that a lot of black males don't like what we call the light-skinned, high yellow black Negroes. Okay, I follow you. Yes. But behind closed doors, you had to go date outside for a reason, okay? You're going to create what we call this biracial mixed boy, which is not going to look black. It's going to look other. It's going to look mostly more than 50-50. And as you can tell out the mixture between the two unions, and I'm seeing it now, and this is something that was never known about for the last couple of decades, since we are all as one and we all could, let's say, miscegenate now since 1967, that the bipartisan black person, black man or black woman or etc. We will produce something that's other. It will not look like us. So if you are jet brown or jet black or damn near super black, you could easily produce this what they call milkshake of a child, an offspring, that's gonna have both you and the other person, which probably is most likely gonna be mostly lighter on the average, to be in this society where, if depending on the mixture and how well the mixture is structured, personally, it could somewhat assimilate through what we call whiteness. Possibly. And I say possibly, but it's not a guarantee, because usually the one drop rule only and still applies through the first generation of admixture. Through admixture, mind you. But what happens to the other what happens to this mixed boy or mixed girl? Do they continue with admixture, or they go back and assimilate into what they want to quote unquote call blackness? Should be the question that I should ask. As you can see, this picture has the man's thinking. And we have to think critically on this, logically on this. But this is what the woman said, that to get into patriarchy as a non-black woman, mostly white, she needs that black seed to hopefully make and control this hybrid boy that will become man, to do her bidding, her will in the society. And you know, it's funny when I hear about black men in society, unfortunately, I'm a black man speaking about this, and really quickly, that they want to control you, brothers. Because that statement alone says, I want to control you. And if I can't control you, which I got you under my thumbnail because I have the skin color, all I need more is now that seed and have that mixed boy, and I can easily have even greater control. But you know, like I said, I'm just a person giving my take on a lot of things, my own understanding of this. I can't speak for other men, because let's be honest, we're not going to go but and question this non-black woman or our so-called choices. And yes, the non-black woman is the preferred choice for the black man in America. The black man goes seek and will seek out this non-black woman. If this black beep cannot get me nothing, I damn sure will go out and find that non-black woman to be to comply or she'll comply toward me. What's good, Amir? It is one or the other. There's no in between. It's no ifs, buts around that. So she will use that mixed boy. And if she has this non-black woman, this Caucasian or Spanish, or you want to call it woman, she damn sure does not want that mixed daughter. Mixed daughter for what? What's she gonna do with that? You hear them complain about the goddamn fucking hair of the children that comes out their womb. They got to go find black people, especially black women, say, how can I take care of my own daughter's hair? And said, look up YouTube and watch and find it. That's problematic. Very problematic. To me. But then again, it makes sense because why I want us to understand, learn something that is my competition, which is the mixed daughter, that can now assimilate and bounce around between white and black easy. And God willing, if she doesn't get too big or what they call too fat, it makes it easier for her, the mixed child, to come and move around the environment a little easier, a little easier. I see some in the comment section. Let me see. Let me read. I don't know if I can read that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me shit. Yep, my mixed friend always goes to black hairdressers and complain about their mom not caring. My mom was a hairdresser. Yeah, because let's be honest. The Caucasian or non-black woman, she more has an understanding of her straighter hair. Her hair is more of a easier time to deal with. So she's going to learn and understand how to treat her own hair. If her daughter has what we call 4C or partially curly hair and is really coarse, it becomes problematic. I hear too many stories as well how she complains about doing her own mixed daughter's hair. Or sometimes she just don't do it at all. Who knows? But it is what it is, unfortunately. So she has to go find, let's say, a black friend or go to the nearest hairdresser and have her daughter get her hair. And mind you, the father could do this, but if the father is productive, he's not going to waste his time and have time to go do all that. So it leaves all the burden to the mother. Yes, that's what the title says, truism. So let me keep going. What's this? Let's see. Let's go to next.
All right, guys. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking about a boyfriend haul, and here is.
I'm not your boyfriend. I'm your husband.
Boyfriend haul. So
now, as you could tell, it's kind of pathetic. Now, we could say this might be a skit for clicks and views. Okay, we can have that. But let's go deeper into this.
So I got him so long ago. I got him like about 16 years ago, but I had to return him one time.
So you're saying that you purchased this black man and you was not pleased, so you go back and by default you said, I must go resell back in the auction blocks to get a better product. Okay, I understand. Yes, let's keep going.
It was a long time ago, but I returned him and he came back better than ever. I like to go for like a chocolate on chocolate, so black on black.
Yes. As you know, this woman, I think she might be maybe from she could be Italian. I'm not sure what brand of the tribe white she is, but it looks like she prefers her man to be tall and dark and handsome. You know how it goes. Oh, did she? Okay.
I love like purebred. This is a purebred.
I'm confused on what are we doing.
We're giving them a haul. So this is purebred Nigerian from the motherland. I don't like to crossbreed. We got the full Nigerian here.
Now, as you know, those are the few if we look back in history, and you know it's funny how this is a skit, possibly. Well, let's say this is a skit that she did it and structured it very well. That where they start grabbing majority of our ancestors, mostly in the Ivory Coast, east part of Africa, west coast of Africa, Ghana, Guinea, or even Nigeria, unfortunately. You know, so is it ironic? She says she gonna get one of the few of our people from the motherland as what they quote unquote call a purebred. And as y'all know, some of the Nigerians have been interbreed by the Europeans, i.e., the book "The Daughters of the Trade" talks about this. Let's continue.
What else? One really good thing about this one is it cooks, it cleans. Actually, no, it doesn't cook. I take that back. That's next season's, but not this season's one. We're working on it.
I do everything else.
Well, you know, if he cleans, at least he's useful, I guess, you know. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure brothers today that's in relationship with black women, if they even do the cooking and clean nowadays. I think one of the issues we have in the black community is a man said, you must submit your will. That means I want you to work, come home, clean, cook, and if we have kids, please take care of the kids. And as I come home, get on your knees and suck this cock, baby. That's what I want. And let's be honest, brothers. A lot of women say they can't do it. They're not superwomen. You hear the complaints always. They said that they can't do what their mothers and grandmothers did in the past. They're not gonna do it. And personally, and Mr. Troopism, if you could at least refrain from that word, I will appreciate it. Thank you. But like I said, they don't want to do that. They can't do it because it's too much burden. They do 20 or more hours a week, maybe God knows 40-hour work weeks, and then they come home, take care of the kids and your ass. And unfortunately, a lot of black women, let's be honest, they're not willing to do that, and they don't feel comfortable doing that. Is this going on the south, west, or just all over? Possibly. So let me see anything else on this tape. Okay, I guess that's it. Yeah. Make sure you guys like the stream. Share it if you feel so. Just going through the chat room. Okay. Yeah, that was interesting. You know, the funny thing with TikTok, now that I think about it, it's getting very wicked and loose on that app. And I think one of the few things that hits home with TikTok is because they do less than 5-minute uploads, mostly 2 or a minute. Now the max limit of uploads for a video is roughly now 10 minutes. But usually short increment videos proves and gets their point across much faster than a regular upload on a YouTube page. Now, one person said TikTok is racist. And rightfully so it is. Like many applications. I think with TikTok today, like most websites, is a lot of non-blacks exclude their racism throughout the media because it's comfortable. And they know that this is the only outlet where people could see them and grow following if they're very racist to non-white people, aka black people or other color people. They put it out on social media daily. I remember, if y'all guys remember the Master Challenge, y'all remember that one? Yeah, that one was bad. That was outrageous. But yeah, it shows a lot of behaviors between the boys and girls that become adults on TikTok that's showing off the racism. And in good fashion, I think in good faith, for whatever reason they do it. I don't see no pushback. Maybe some black folks might catch it and they might give their expression in the comment section, but really true, they don't care because they know you're going to watch it and get a reaction. So let's go in the comment sections and let me see what's going on here before I continue. I'm going to work my way down because of a lot of activity. Let's see. One guy said I'm bugging. Okay. And one guy said that the woman is talking about me, but and it's ironic he would say that. I don't know why. Let's see. And one woman said, white women have control over black men on TikTok for sure. Yeah. I seen it. Let's see. I think I read that one right. Let's go down. And I set it to truism. Now, one woman said, Chanel said, she shows him off like the white man shows off the slaves before selling them. Yeah. And mind you, the fight for these skits, it's like slave plays all over again. And I think most of the people that follows these slave plays, some are ADOS, some are non-ADOS, but it still applies that people over the age of 20, roughly almost 25-ish, maybe a little older, they love to play these slave role narratives with their non-black mates. And I never understand the enticement of keep playing these roles, personally. I'm trying to understand the science of it. I'm not sure they're doing it for clicks and views or they're just doing it for fun. Either or, they play these roles, and a lot of black people, especially in black people in these relationships, are very comfortable playing slave roles, taking what has happened to black people up to now present time as a joke. And I think it's a no. But that's me. Let's keep on. Oh, it gave him a white policy. She's from the mountains of Yeti. She's from the mountains of Yeti? I'm not sure what that is. There are several more videos because it's challenging on TikTok, okay? It's a challenge on TikTok, okay? They rather go through racism with white women than be fathers in their own community. Possibly. I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, and there are some black slaves, or what we call black people, did participate in the slave trade, even to the point some of them might be part of the soil and did own slaves. I'm not denying that. Was there a lot of black people during enslavement? Not really. Not a lot. Not a lot. Oh no, not a lot. But they did some of them did own slaves. Some of them were like already free blacks. Unfortunately. Let's keep going. They said they found a freezer that was supposed to go to China from Africa that had 720 male organs in it. Okay, well, I don't know what that has to do with the subject. Let me go down. It's going on the Southwest. Okay. Truth hurts. And right here, a kid okay. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. Let me check my other side. Okay. So now, what else? What else I could add on to this? One thing I would say, personally, and I don't know if I could say solutions on this. I would say this, from what I'm seeing, that white women have to gain some out of this black Negro male. They gotta gain some. It's either control or the biracial baby that she'll get. And trust me, depending on her family background, if her family doesn't like it, she will, by default, depending on a certain state she lives in, she will send that baby off to either adoption or put it to the side and move on with life to be with one of her own in the community. That's an actual fact. If she cannot still get accepted in her community with dealing with this interracial union, she will do what's necessary to hide the evidence that she had not only an affair with a non-white man, but if she has a child, she will give it up. If you look at most of the adoption centers here in America, there are numbers of black children that fall under one drop rule that have come from union of a black person and a white person. So, like I said, certain white women, like I said, 20% of them out of the 80 will mess with non-white people if they cannot get one of their own or copulate one of them. They will come to the side. I heard stories from certain content creators. I think was it BGS, or from other doctor and teachers said that these non-black women, aka white women, are in these rooms in schools and certain universities that are taking these classes, trying to understand and learn the opposite sex, i.e., black males. Now, why would they want to waste time learning about black males? Because they're the ones that's trying to find somewhat of a better brand of human. Because let's be honest, not every person is going to get and marry within their race at this present day today. If they're, let's say, they're majority of the country, they're going to come to the black side to have some form of life, especially if they find the right, or there's such word, right black person. If a man's moving and he's somewhat productive and he's projected for something, oh yes, they'll be right in line to possibly now snag him up. And they have snagged him up. If you think about it, most of the brothers, if they're in college and they're going in those schools for certain degrees, and let's say they're awkward or they don't move and act like regular black folks, 9/10 time they're going to easily assimilate to whiteness, and a white person will take him on if he plays cards right. Now, will he be successful in marrying a non-black person? From what is presented now, most likely no. But is he willing to not take that risk today? He still will take the risk because the woman brings whiteness to the table. That's good enough. And it's funny, now that I think about it, since I'm talking about this, you never hear arguments of a lot of black brothers. They will marry a non-black person. Oh yeah, they will do that because they'll get something out of the deal. One, they'll get what they said, the femininity, and also whiteness. So is two birds with one stone. It's actually, to the minds and hearts of black males that will become black men, a good deal. And they will take that deal and take that risk, unfortunately. And trust me, men will risk things if they feel there's something better out of the deal. One thing I did remember Mr. IBMOR said best. If the black man won't give the black man we want, he will go to this other community elsewhere, because the other community will eventually have to take him on, because we have what we call miscegenation. We have the miscegenation laws removed from this country. So he doesn't always have to stay in this so-called black community. He can go elsewhere and there will be no scrutiny. Unless there might be some punishment down the line, by the wrong, Caucasoid man. Maybe. So, like I said, men are willing to risk life and dear over the other side if it will benefit them in the long run. And I think a good portion of black males today, in their mind, is better over the other side, from what I'm understanding. Now, one thing I found interesting, and let me see if I could get Amiri on here, because he did tell me something about what's going on that he discovered that me and him possibly talked about. Oh, really, Chanel? I didn't know that. Okay. Well, what's good, Amiri?
What's up?
I'm live right now. I'm not sure if you could jump on here, if possible.
Well, StreamYard ain't gonna let me because it's not. That's why I wish I had my dog on head so I would know it's broken, man. But
all right. Never mind. No matter. How long you been listening so far to the stream to give your take from what I'm been discussing? about the same.
Hello?
Hear me? Hear me? Hear me
Yeah,
good?
well, you know, I'm in a bad area, so my YouTube not on right now.
Okay. All right. So you want
I'm in
call
a
me back?
spotty area.
Want me to come back? You want to contact me a little bit later? Let's give it a take on it.
Well, I mean, if you got me on the phone, I could do it now.
Go ahead, do it now. You're online.
Yeah,
You're live here right now. People listening.
Okay, yeah. So when we talk about white women having control over brothers, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, and see, that's the thing. That's why no matter what brothers want to tell themselves, there's the power in that type of situation, whether it's with a white woman or whatever the case is, that woman always has more power in the relationship. They want to sit there and talk this shit about black women, but the woman who really have power over you is that non-black. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's that white girl magic. A lot of these dudes pedestalize these white women, man. And, you know, just non-black women generally. You know, I feel about that, man. You know, these self-hate Negroes, man, and how, you know, they view every other woman that's better than their own woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I mean, listen, that's a status symbol. And like I said, then they want to sit there and try to pretend as if none of this stuff ain't real. Everybody just lying. And so then how was George Hill able to tap in something that we all recognize as a cultural phenomenon, specifically with black men, and make a whole horror movie out of it? Where did he get that from?
Yeah, I wonder where he got that from too.
Yeah, it's because we just feel like it. A brother become look at Kanye West. Then he get on and he will ask for a white girl. Get down, girl. Go ahead, get down. Get down. And he went on to do just that. So it's just once a brother reaches a certain status, he wants to get with the most racially ambiguous or closest thing to white, if not white, he can.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't nothing new. Like I told you, these new convenient narratives coming from the Atlanta channel. This bullshit, man. Like this is trying to erase just the history. Like it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm telling them. Like, don't y'all know we can see you? And I'm not a big fan of, because I gather you're having this discussion because of that TikTok video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that, but I mean, people just see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
People just see it for what it is, man. So, and I'm not gonna talk in absolutes to say that's every situation, that's every case, but I think just generally, there's a lot of truth there. Like, brothers assign a certain level of prestige to white women for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I tell them, like, when they start making these complaints about sisters are masculine, That's why I always make sure I tie it together, because, like, if they want, whatever they want to apply to white women in terms of what's positive attributes, femininity, cooperative, friendly, all that dumb shit they be talking, but that's because of white men.
Mm-hmm.
See, the reason why she is the standard of femininity is because he's the standard of masculine. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that your woman are masculine, and then you're masculine too. Nah, it don't work like that. Your woman are masculine, you're feminine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like it's a reverse. It's reversed. It's inverse, and that's the purpose of the racial hierarchy. At the top, at the pinnacle of the racial hierarchy is white, and at the bottom is black. So everything is going to be reversed.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
So it's some truth to that. Like pay attention to these dudes. I had a guy on Facebook. I made a post about. I did a live. And I said, once you tell these brothers they can't have white women, they go crazy. And you ought to see the scene like the dudes, like somebody sent me a screenshot. So the stuff they were saying, because they made a post comment. But I don't know if people say it's the truth. Like they'll do all that talking about black women, and will go on to put the women of the group of men who they say treat them so wrong on a fucking pedestal. And you wonder why these sisters just look like have lost any sense of placating their feelings. You got to deal with the black man up. You got to get that fuck out of here, man. Like, we forget this, man. This is at your actions. Mm-hmm. Actions speak louder than words. And your actions, like their actions betray them. Their actions betray them, man. It's easy to say that, but then when you go look at the actions, it's different. And listen, I'm not like I told you, I'm not the dingling for this, right? But mm-hmm. and so I'm a man too, so I understand that men like variety. The problem is that these dudes will put every other woman outside of their own woman on a pedestal, and they treat their women like trash. So you'll basically treat your women as sexual objects, and then marry and wife up and put on a pedestal non-black women.
Okay.
Specifically white women. They do the opposite. I mean, even if you are going to smash outside woman here and there, like she's the one that you fetishize, not your own woman.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Everything we do the reverse, and we do the opposite. And then wonder why we have dynamics we have with our sisters, and we want to act as if we're constantly gaslighting black women. Like I said, there's this racial narcissism that we do. We just want to everything like. There's no truth to any of the observations that make you. Hey, Cass, hold on, I gotta take this call.
All right, go ahead, do your thing. Okay. Yeah, I agree with Amiri. Yeah, everything's conditioned at the end of the day, people. That's how I look at it. Everything is conditional. For Melon Vessel, the link I'm saying is Discord. That is to my Discord link. Now, you must understand how Discord works, Melon Vessel. It works that every room that every person creates, it moves a certain way depending on the moderator. Now, as you know, I barely got anybody on my Discord service. That's my check. So it's not going to be that type of crowd, hopefully. And let's say if it did get to that point, I eventually might have to regulate my Discord. But right now, I have to build the plane while it's flying. So join Discord service on Mailing Vessel. Yeah, just check it out. Check my Discord. Right now it's slow right now, but like I said, get familiar with these other applications. I use it for other methods than most other people, but like I said, it is a good app for other occasions. So join Discord. I'll probably drop the call-in link now. See if anybody has anything to add on, respectfully. And I mean respectfully. And like I said, I gave my take and my thoughts to this. One thing, I don't know at all. I just observe and give a critical analysis and a conclusion to what is being put out here. I mean, I read enough books. Some books I have retained and have understanding. Some I have not. But I use life as a lesson nonetheless when I do my content. As you know, I just don't do random content on here because how YouTube moves and how people do content is more catered to more celebrity based, more short based now, and things that is more fun and active, which is fine. But I think using YouTube now, it should be more of a more intrinsic tool to help better your mind and have your understanding of reality. Not everybody's supposed to get it. I don't expect everybody to get it, but we should learn from a lot of these streams and give our own take and analysis to this. One thing is evident, that too many of these women, non-black women, getting too much comfortable in their expression of how they view blackness, especially the black male. And regardless, they're doing it for clicks and views, is very much thought-provoking, and it's telling how they think and how they view us. And rightfully so, they should view us this way because we accept them from their bad they're worse and they're terrible. So I expect that. So it should be no surprise that when they do these skit videos, they're telling you what they seek out of this union between black and white. It's always at the end of the day control. The master-slave relationship will not escape us. It didn't escape us during the last century or the century before, and will not escape us now. Because most people think and feel emboldened that they should control you. And if they feel they can't control you, they have no usefulness for you. You are objects for their amusement, their entertainment. And I'm telling you, especially black man, you're more valuable than that. If you're really not in control of any relationship, whether it's with the women in your community or whatever case you want to keep expressing, then you should be able to get some form of control. Especially if you're saying that the woman that you take on, your mate, should be on your program, in my opinion. Personally. But like I said, with white women today, and this applies to all of them, they get that mixed son. That's more of a prize that they will ever get. And it's an easier tool for them to get into that patriarchy. And let's be honest, when we talk about patriarchy in this American order, they talk about full control, where at times they tell you what to do, you're going to do this, that, or there's going to be consequences. And usually consequences are not just the verbal now, it's always the physicality or systematically. Wherever the case, the consequence, they exude consequence to impose their will towards, others. Now, there's a question here. I don't understand how black men who claim to want submission go to white women for it. It's a complete oxymoron. Because black men in their mind, male investors, they never had power control. You always hear the notion that the only thing we could control is what we have in the bedroom or within our groups, the opposite sex. But when we talk about actual greater control, it's not part of the discussion. Matter of fact, it's something that is foreign. It's something that we should not be talking about, rather on the airwaves or off the airwaves. It's not supposed to be the discussion, in my opinion. We're not that those conversations should not be having. Only power that black men seek today is the mouth. You know how we do it. Our mouthpiece is our best power. You know what I'm saying? We're good with the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Come, baby, come over here. Come do this and that. I need this submission, baby. You feel me? We are good at running our mouths, but in regards to getting actual power, and Jay Shine has laid this out when I had him on my channel a week ago about power. How most women are observing other women and thinking that and taking action to attain what we call power. Because they know power is security, is safety. Anything less of power is of no usefulness. And I think most boys that become men have been called and raised to not seek any form of power at all, in my opinion, from what I'm observing. So they go out in the environment, they're, and they stay in that so-called infidel state mentally, which will lead to the physical body. Because wherever the mind is, the body has to go. It goes hand in hand. Now, I'm not sure if people are going to come up and give their take on the stream, because I did drop the stream link. I'll give it a few more minutes. If not, I will wrap this up. The thing that was going circulating right now is a lot of, I think, Mexicans in California don't like and are fighting to not have black people get reparations in the state of California. I see that as a no-no. But I can see why Mexicans that live and are part of California will sit there and fight certain institutions in regards to giving black people reparations in that in California, because like most other racist people that are not black, they feel in their mind you don't deserve or need to get nothing. You build this country, but you're not entitled to nothing. And once they get wind of that, black people, that's 5% or less in the population of California, is going to get some form of repair from the state, the governor of California, wherever. Other race people are going to fight you to the tooth so you don't get that. They like where you are, the position where you are today. You must be squabbling. You must alpha your way. You must get this on the ground up while they fly and get everything in place. It is what it is. Unfortunately, it is what it is. That's why they fight black people in general. And let's be honest, I think it's more than black people they fight. I think when it comes to the brothers, I think they fight in regards to reparations, said that it's not black men should get anything, but really black women should not get anything either, because by default, she doesn't really need nothing from a black man. So if there's a form of reparations, she's entitled to it as well. And if she gets some more from the institution of the government, in the back of their minds, feels she does not need black men more because she got everything more, because she got reparations, you might get reparations. So there's no need to come together once you both of y'all get what y'all want. And I think certain other races, including certain people within our race, man and woman, and we could say man, they feel you're not entitled to no reparations, personally, from what I'm noticing. Oh, oh, you didn't hear about that, Diane? Yes. This was posted a few days ago. I gotta find the video on it because the same content creator that has millions of subscribers had a conversation with a Mexican brother about this, and they're right now in the process fighting the state of California to make sure that black people in California, which is not a large percentage, don't get reparations. I've been hearing about that. I'm going to find it. I might do content on it, but I have to think about it. Yeah, but it's out there now, Diana. All right, who's this? Where the white woman at, Kaz? Or is it the title clickbait? Well, I don't see Becky around. Where is she? Where the hell is she? Where's Sarah and Maria? Where the fuck is it? Sarah, Maria, where are you? Come. Where are you? They're not around. Trey Newt. I guess they didn't show up. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it is what it is. Let's keep going. Who else said this? So basically, it's just acting. There's no real switch of power or dynamic. It's the symbolism. That's all. I'm not sure it's symbolism. Personally, Melanie Vesta. I'm not sure. Personally, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, look into it, Diane. And if you find anything, please leave a comment at the end of this video. If you find anything. All right. And if you want, just leave your email in the comment section and I will hit you up. Let's see what's going on. What else? California was a slave-owned state for about 5 minutes. Who is getting those checks? You know, who knows? And personally, Trey, I know that they were going to give some form of repair to black folks. I'm not sure in what fashion they're going to give it to. But really, if the government decides that they're going to give black people some reparations, I always got to think, what type of repair you're going to give people that help build this country? Should be the biggest question. Because last time I checked, they said when they did the math of how much black people really owe, it's in the trillions. And a lot of people said they can't pay people that build this country or descended slaves trillions of dollars. This is what I'm hearing. So I'm not saying that black people will get anything, get no reparation, or they'll get it. Is always look at if they do get what package they're going to get it in. That's somewhat tangible, sustainable for a period. You know, but all right, what's going on? I just came in, so I was just speaking generally on the title. Yeah, so I'm not sure what form they're getting it in, personally. I gotta sit back and see the real outcome of this. But this is some new information, in my opinion. Oh, okay. What about the Mexican, Chinese, and California who can trace their lineage? I think the Chinese got their little reparations already. And if they haven't, they don't need it because they own majority of the bonds of America. They own portion of the debt of America because they supply what is needed, and they supply things. They make things for less than $1 in their country, and they sell it back to America. I mean, if you remember, most of the jobs that was hold for Americans to build and keep the infrastructure of America has been shipped off to third world countries, especially in Asia. You know, they're getting that nice cheap labor without paying much taxes. So yeah. What else? So like I said, I'm sitting back to see the outcome of this. I don't expect the best out of this. I'm thinking black people will get some out of the deal. I'm not sure what thing they'll get out of the deal, but I'm hoping it's something that's substantial and realistic too. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this because let me send this off. And I wish I had known somebody that's in California that knows more about this than me. Because I'm not in California, but I hear the stories that's going on in California. Okay, I see some here. Okay, so you're speaking about the California. No, Melanie Vessel. How long you been listening to the stream, Melanie Vessel? That's not the focus of the title of the stream. I'm only mentioning it because it's something that came to mind. But I actually lay out today's conversation on this live stream. I'm just adding on to something different to what's going on or what I hear is going on. So I think in the long term, they said that the bills that they created about giving black people repair is not a good bill, in my opinion. Okay, good. Yeah, you might catch replay, Melanie Vessel. And black people deserve a better deal, in my opinion. They do deserve a better deal. The deal they got is not really sustainable and really long term. And I don't agree with it. Even the HR bill, it doesn't seem like it's in favor now that Dr. Derry draw clarity in the bill. So I'm the spectator anyway. So in wrapping up this slowly, what are ways that black men could do so if they're in these relationships, if they entertain these interracial relationships with non-black women, what one should do? Well, one thing, you gotta take control again as a man. You want to make sure up front, Street, that this non-black woman you deal with, you gotta let her know up front that you're the boss. I mean, if they're thinking behind closed doors that you're not gonna act and conduct yourself where they seem that it's something that they can control you with a slight twiddle of their fingers, they won't deal with you and they won't stay with you long. I think one thing with these interracial relationships, why they start to dissolve, I think it's more than money. I think it's the aspect of they're not getting what they really want out of the said black man. Because if all you wanted was the mixed child to have that sense of patriarchy, you can get that from any black man. You just go in the hood or wherever black men are around and just open up and tell them, say, you want some sex? And, you know, a black man, let's be honest, in today's age, he ain't going to turn out no pussy. I'm just keeping it real. And lo and behold, you have your mixed child, so you have the patriarchy. But the problem with that thinking and that rhetoric that a lot of Caucasian women like her in that short TikTok video, if you're thinking and moving like that, you have completely disassociate yourself to get any other men in your group once they know that you have a child by a non-white man. And trust me, these men, especially on the manosphere side of things, they're not in the business of dealing with women with children, especially children with that's not part of their own race. They're not. Now, if it's a girl, possibly. But if it was a boy, oh hell no, they're not gonna deal with that. No. I don't see it. No. They're not gonna do that. They're never gonna do that. All right, you're gonna watch and give a comment. Good. I don't see him doing that, and I don't blame him. I don't see him really doing that anyway, because really, truly, if they did that, I mean, they gotta come back and assimilate to whiteness, and they can't do it if they have mixed babies. I'm saying, who's this? Let me make sure. Oh, is this? Wait, I see somebody trying to come into the studio. Let's take a look. All right. Hold on.
It's me.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to fix this thing. Is that the man with the green saber ready to
It's Skywalker and the Skywalker in the hallway with a green lightsaber. Yep.
Yes. I know we have the fro, BJs. Can't just have the what they call Obi-Wan Kenobi, the bald head as an avatar.
No. Gotta have the fro.
Gotta have the fro.
Gotta have the fro.
Gotta have the fro. All right. So what's good, BJs? What do you want to add on? I know I'm sure how long you've been listening, or you want to give a different alternative.
What are you talking about? Talking about black men and white women? Is that what you're talking about?
I did my dissertation already, BJs. If you didn't listen,
why do you think they normally the two things that the society had to do? One, they had to make white women safe for black men to be around. It's the first thing. Then they had to socialize them.
Mm-hmm.
Black men do very, for the most part, do not approach white women. So white women have to do all
even
the
today in present time,
even for the present
after domestication laws were removed.
If a black man approaches a white woman that he doesn't know and she starts to go off, guess what's going to happen to him?
We all know what's going to happen.
So white women approach.
Mm-hmm.
Have you never been approached by a white woman?
Have I? Well, where I live at, I'm almost majority black, besides Hispanic, so I would say no. Yes.
So you never been around white people?
I've been around white people, but I can recall if I was approached to a white woman. Unless I'll approach them, but for some, but they never approached me. From what I know.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
The East Coast is a little funny nowadays, so and I don't have no problem in regards to approaching people. I'm saying I carry myself some way, BJ. So, yeah.
The vast majority of black men that date white women actually grew up around them, or went to school with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't see too many brothers from the hood just roaming around with white girls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
No.
I mean, you live in a black neighborhood, right? Black and Latino neighborhood.
Yeah,
right?
I live mostly black people. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So vast majority of dudes that you see with white women grew up had to go to school with them some kind of way or work with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of rare to see a white woman, even a poor white woman with a black man, unless they've known each other from someplace.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And basically, most times it's the white woman approaching him. The black man, because most white women know the black man is not really going to approach him.
That's true. Yeah. Not where I live. Black men and white women commingle. Okay, yeah, go on. Sorry, I just want to read that. Go.
No, so basically, it's called integrations or admixture. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so they why do you think they send you to the schools so you can mix?
Yeah. Of course, and I think that's more like with the Board and Brown when they removed that back in the 50s. It was the process of slowly absorption. Once they start putting you with, and I think after 20 years, like in the 70s, they really started to push a little bit more. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I was a child of in the 60s, late 60s. They started pushing more black kids into white areas, putting them on buses and send them out. So I was one of those kids.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's it? Not where I live. Okay. Let me see this. Men approach almost always. Women don't go around approaching men. Yeah,
that's bullshit. It's bullshit. Yeah. The vast majority of black men are not going to approach white women.
Yeah.
The vast majority. Unless they're already like in the neighborhood. Okay. And even black kids that go to mostly white schools, they can tell you it's always a little white girl that approaches you and is friendly. to you.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
and we don't have the same kind of mate. They don't have the same kind of mating strategy that black women do.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, they're very much. If you buck around with the right non-black woman, they will be aggressive if they really like you. You know, I mean, trust me, they will.
Yeah, if she's socialized to that way, if she's got black girlfriends, then she's gonna act more like she's black.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see. Oh wait, somebody wrote some here. I never approach a man of another race of the same race. They approach me, so why would it
Are
be
you
different in this
are,
situation? I'm not.
are you black, Diana? Is she black?
Diane, I dropped the link. If you want to
Is she
elaborate
black?
more on there,
You can answer. Yeah, you
yeah.
never had, but thing is that I mean it's real simple, right? If you look at Get Out, right, that's pretty much the way it goes. The
Mm-hmm.
reason that black men do not approach white women is because the danger of approaching or getting rejected by a white woman is kind of high. What if she goes, what if she decides to go nuclear? What's going to happen to you?
Yeah, we
Most
know it's
black
good.
men, the vast majority of black men do not approach white women. White women have to approach. If they're interested in the black man, then she's gonna have to approach. She's got to make the first step, or she's got to indicate that she's open to him. Otherwise, he's
Okay.
not gonna approach her.
Yeah. 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 I think I remember you now, Diana. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think I remember Diana. Okay.
Do you date black men?
Okay. They will go after him. All right. And she's gonna answer. If they like black men, they will go after him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they go after him. They have to. You know, 'cause
Mm-hmm.
I went to all white schools. You know,
Mm-hmm.
from the fourth grade on. I went to all white schools. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And today, even today, I've gone to white churches,
Mm-hmm.
and black men, the black men do not really approach white women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can tell the difference. They'll approach Latinas, they'll approach um, Asians, they'll
Mm-hmm.
approach Filipinos, they'll approach other black women. They don't
Mm-hmm.
approach white women. There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. They all men. Okay, Diana. She dates all men. Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you saying you don't? So the black men that you date, they just walk up to you and approach you. You must live in a mixed neighborhood, or you must grow up with them because that normally doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, that price. She said yes. She did grow up in a mixed neighborhood.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you're born and intermingle with these other groups from mostly, depending on the neighborhood, most of us we interact with mostly
Yeah,
Latinas and blacks. Latinas and blacks. So
yeah,
not depending on the state you're in, it's mostly Hispanics and blacks we interact mostly in America on the
yeah.
average.
If you grow up in a mixed neighborhood, basically, um, if you grow up in a mixed neighborhood, basically, though the blacks and whatever are your neighbors.
Yeah.
So basically, we're kind of race is kind of flattened out.
Mm-hmm. I want to support the channel. The links there. Yeah. Wait. Where I live mostly. Wait, hold on. Where I live is mostly white. Okay. I don't know if you're in the East Coast, Amelia Vessel, or Midwest. I'm not sure. I never thought about that, but it's good. I never thought about that, but it's a good point. Yep. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And right here, Diane writes, I live in the Midwest. I live around all races. I'm diverse, not at all blacks or Hispanic neighborhoods. Okay. So it's pretty much everybody, the cream of the pot.
It's a mixed neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. But like I said, to most brothers, like you said, BJ said that they're still timid. Even now, you hear some of them now that either can get a non-black person out. That if you, like you said, if they're afraid to make the move because that's in them, the subconscious thinking, then obviously, I think it's besides the concern that there might be a consequence in the back of their mind, or they're just afraid of the outcome, like the rejection. And I said this countless times, be this one of the few things a man has to overcome besides anything else in life is you're going to have to live with some form of rejection, one way or the other. And I hear this with some of my side of family, personally, that they don't like the rejection.
Nobody does.
Yeah, I know nobody does, but I think it's worse with women when a man rejects a woman you know what happens. It gets possibly violent.
Yeah, because women don't do the approaching. So if they do bring up the nerve to approach, then and they get rejected, it hurts worse. Man expects to get rejected if he approaches.
Okay. So basically, it boils down to who lives where. It works differently in different places. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it's more segregated thinking. What do you mean segregated thinking?
I'm not saying. No, I didn't say that. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about she said it.
Okay.
I don't know what she means by that.
Yeah, can you elaborate? If you said segregated thinking,
you grew up if you grew up in a mixed neighborhood and your neighbors are all of all races, then you just kids in the neighborhood. And that is a small percentage. In fact, most black women that marry white men actually grew up in a mixed environment. But you do get black men that grew up in a black neighborhood. They had to meet the white girls at school. Okay. And trust and believe, white girls will approach black men way more than the other way around. Way more. Now you might not have been approached, but I'm sure if you got white girlfriends, you can see them approach black men and do stuff for them and all that kind of stuff. That's what gets them. That's what gets the black men. It's not the way they look or they just want a white woman. It's because white women are nicer to black men for whatever reason.
Whatever reason, yeah, I agree with that. And not only they're nicer, a lot of black men they never felt appreciate and felt someone that's nice to them. So they'll be shocked and surprised. Oh, you're nice with me?
She's nice to me. Yeah. She's nice. Yeah, because
it'll throw a lot of men off. You know what I'm saying?
Black women don't have this. We don't have the black culture. Women are dominant, and they they expect black men to serve, and they have a completely different mating strategy.
Of course. Okay.
That's why it's not unusual to see black men and women fighting because they start out as little kids fighting. It's no big deal.
Who's this?
Oh, hey,
new person.
Stefan from the other stream, from Van Gogh to Painter stream.
Oh, Van Gogh. Okay, what's good?
What's good, man? Yeah, I was just saying at back chat, I was late to the stream, so I didn't know everything you guys may already went over.
Well, I will fill you in. One thing, because I laid my dissertation about white women seek control black folks. I just played a clip that was compiled. I gave my take on it, why that's so, personally. And I laid on to other things, but in regards to the subject at hand, what do you feel you could add on to the title from your understanding?
Yeah, from my experience, just because my city is I'm from Philly, so it's pretty much like a good amount of everything. I think it's like between 40 to 50% black people. I think around 25% white, and then a good amount of like Asian and
Philly's
Pacific Islanders. Yeah,
Philly's and also segregated, from what I understand.
But I was going to say, my experience comes a lot from, I went to a PWI, so my school had over 20,000 undergrad kids, and my school was actually, at the time I went there anyway, it was the top 2 like most diverse in the country. So everything besides like Hispanic was pretty much there. So Eastern Asian, Middle Eastern, white, black, Caribbean, black, literally almost everything was there at a good ratio. And from what I saw, because I brought this up on Obsidian's panel, I think a day or two ago. From what I saw, the women, whether it was like college, white women, or even women that may be from Philly and are like lower or middle class, a lot of the guys they talked to were actually the more hood guys. So I'll agree that Philly's somewhat or pretty like segregated as far as the city itself. But as far as the men, once you get to like 18 to 21 and up, the men or the black men who are pretty much they're successful at attracting like, white women and black women and, non-black women in general. A lot of them, they were the more edgy guys. They were hood, so they may have been friends with me. So, of course, they were able to socialize with nerdier guys and more corporate type of guys. But when we would actually party, and this is even after college, when we would go to clubs, whether it was like a hipster club or some downtown or whatever, a lot of the my more quote unquote hood or thugged out, whatever you want to call it, aggressive friends, they did well with white women. And a lot of them, it's not like they're exclusively into that. It's just a matter of they can attract a good amount of like attractive women. And sometimes the women in the club that was throwing it at them just happened to be white. So or even like they would see attractive white women, and a lot of them would be approach like just several groups in one night and get numbers from most of them. So whether it was them coming at the white girl first or vice versa, I've seen like the hood guys do very well.
The vast majority of times, which way did it go? Is the white women approaching them?
Well, they approached more because a lot of my friends were pretty aggressive. Like in Philly, we used to like approach chicks in middle school and high school. So like approach anxiety, the way that some guys talk about it online, that doesn't even exist for the average Philly guy. I mean, I don't know about Gen Z, but as far as like millennials, like late 20s and up, they were approaching white women with ease. There was no, approach anxiety or like wondering if, she's going to turn you down. Now, in my case, I'm more quality over quantity. So I'll be the type of guy who I'm only talking to maybe 2-3 chicks in one night, and I'll get probably 2 or 3 of the numbers, and I'm good. I don't, and that's at most. The first chick I approach, I might be with all night and, link up with her later, invite her to the, diner we going to afterwards or whatever. So I don't need to approach a million chicks. But my more aggressive friends, they had no issues coming at, these white women who were, clearly educated, clearly, a working professional type of chick. Or even sometimes if it was like a hipster white girl or something. So a lot of times it wasn't like quote unquote like jungle fever type, like I guess, because obviously there's quote unquote hood white chicks in Philly, right? So you might see them with a black guy, but I'm not even talking about those chicks. I'm talking about chicks that clearly you might look at him and say, oh, Steph, you should come to her. She looked like a nerdy girl. You should talk to her. And
because Steph is in a club where these guys are.
Yeah, but if I had to put a number on it, I would say a lot of these women, it goes 50-50. Because if I approach that same white woman, a lot of them, you couldn't really tell whether she preferred me or the more assertive guy. I think it just really came down to her general attraction for us, whether it was, our height or how we look or how we carry ourselves or how we're dressed, etc. I think that's more of a deciding factor. But of course, I do know I did meet, run into those kind of suburban black guys that the first time they were in Philly was in college, whereas my friends a lot of them are from Philly and Baltimore and Jersey, so they already know how it is. But a lot of these suburban black guys, maybe if they were like coming from like some suburb in Jersey and they grew up around white girls or something, and then they got to Philly for college, some of them might, approach it differently because they're, that's the first time they've been in that diverse environment. Or some guys that maybe they didn't see white girls on the opposite end, maybe guys that didn't see white girls and then they first get to college, maybe they might overrate them or just. But as far as the hood guys from Philly, I would say they didn't care, But so I would think white women, in my experience, I don't see them having any type of like control over black men or really. I didn't really see that a lot until like online. I see that because I think it self-selects for some like more extreme archetypes.
They don't have to exhibit control over men because it's implied. It's implied. It's already implied. Okay, if you date a white woman, and I've heard my partners that date them, and everybody else that dates them, right? You know if she gets upset, it's one phone call away. Especially the hood guys, they know.
Yeah, man. Get Becky mad.
Yeah.
It's implied. She doesn't have to try to force control. Black women have to force control. Okay. If she wants control over you, she's gonna have to fight for it. Becky ain't got to fight for it.
This is
Okay,
fact.
there's only so far you can go. Becky has to go the other way. Becky has to show you. Becky, if she wants to be in a relationship with you, we ain't talking about fucking. Okay, fucking is one thing, right? I'm about relationships, right? She got to be down for your program. Otherwise, you can't date her. I never talked to
yeah.
a. You date? Have you dated a long-term white woman?
I'm not long term. I have had a few white girls that I knew from school that I like talked to for years. But I mean, after school, it was like a lot of them didn't live in the same state or even close. Like one was some Lithuanian chick. So literally, I would talk to her, but like she was a lot of times while I knew her, she wasn't even in America. But because she studied abroad and all this. But
So what I'm saying, when did you date
I
long?
agree with your last point though that you said.
Did you date a white woman long term? I mean, like for like 6 months, a year, something like that.
Oh no, I have plenty of friends that have, but not me. No, because just
Okay.
I prefer, like I'm attracted to pretty much every race of woman. But if I was to just talk about my preferences, like everything else being equal, a lot of the girls I tend to date are like a lot of Caribbean black women, and American black women, and even some like Blasian women, or like because like part of my family's Filipino, so like a lot I've known a lot of Blasian chicks and like
Okay.
Pacific Islander chicks.
Well, you're coming from a whole different viewpoint because you're mixed, like my nephew.
Yeah. So I was gonna say I've had a couple chances where I could have like, exclusively dated a white girl, but I mean it just was so few and far between that I didn't never had to really explore it. So because most of my girlfriends are literally actually all of them are black, actually, as far as the ones I exclusively dated for a year or more. But yeah, I would agree with your point about the implied force, because I even think about that when if I'm like in a public setting or something, and a Karen is acting crazy, if it's a white Karen, I even notice around me, people, their antennas are more up because they already know you could be in the right and still get caught up in some type of domestic thing where, she calls the manager or try, call somebody to the situation and thinks you did it or thinks you're the one that started the altercation. So I get what you're saying in that. It's it's implied.
Let you be a hood dude, tatted up, and what have you, rolling down the street with your Becky in the other seat, and you get lights on you, and two white dudes step out their car, and you got a blonde hair, blue eyed Becky, and you look like a Tupac on his worst day.
Oh, that happened where those dancers were driving across states, and it was like they were in a choreography crew, and one of the members was a white female, and totally normal, just diverse dance group or whatever. But they got pulled over in like I think Texas or some southern state, and just because of the optics, the cops like assumed they were like kidnapping, and kidnapping the white girl, and literally she just happened to be white, and she was in a dance crew with a lot of times like a bunch of black and Asian guys, and she just happened to be the one like white member in that dance crew. So so yeah, I'd agree with that, because the optics alone, a lot of cops, they're profiling you, and they think in their head that whatever preconceived notions they have are accurate. So like with that stat they bring up about like there are twice as many black killers a year as white guys, even though we're a small portion of the population. Obviously that might be true roughly, but that's like saying in 100,000 for every 100,000 citizens you have, there's 20 white killers and 40 black killers. So by their logic, they're still punishing the other 900 or 99,660 black guys for what 40 black guys did. And their argument is, oh, well,
it's been baked into the culture for 300 years, man, way before we had what we have now. It's been baked into the culture. It's still around. That stuff never went away. The black men have been dangerous since before this country was even founded. So it's been baked into the culture even before now. It just continues. So this is nothing new. Well, I'm just saying the way the culture is, and I know guys with white girlfriends, and I talk to guys with white girlfriends. They all say the same thing. You have to have an extra layer of caution if you're gonna long term date a white woman.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Also, just because from my experience, even just dating or casually dating white chicks or knowing white chicks from school, I'm considered like a non-threatening black guy. I'm considered,
You're mixed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even though I look brown skin, so you can't really tell because I'm only
They
like
can
a
tell.
quarter. But
They can tell you that they can tell by the hair.
yeah, yeah. But I was going to say also, I don't have any tattoos or anything either, and I
Mm-hmm.
speak properly a lot of the time. A lot of the times,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm out, I might be on lunch from work. Well, before I work from home, so I know for a fact if I'm getting a certain resistance from people in certain situations, I can only imagine how heightened it would be if I was like a tatted up dude with a more
Mm-hmm.
aggressive demeanor, and especially if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't live in an area where it was more like normalized. So I'm sure a lot of guys around the country that may do interracial dating, they don't have it as not that I have it easy, but they don't, unless I'm in a certain area of Pennsylvania outside of Philly, I'm pretty okay. But I can imagine obviously if I was from like the Midwest somewhere or a certain southern states, and I'm out and I have a white wife or something, I'm sure I would run into a higher volume of like weird situations.
Get out the boonies of Pennsylvania. See what happened to you, bro.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I said because
Philly, they might let you buy with it. May depending on the cop.
Because
Yeah,
PA is a red state besides like Philly and I think like the Poconos and Pittsburgh. Everything else is red.
The same shit goes on in blue states, man. I'm in California.
So
one of the bluest states in the country. Same shit.
I wanted to talk about which voice. I'm going to talk about BGS.
Huh?
The voice. I don't know what she's talking about. It's his voice.
His voice right away. They let their guard down. I have no idea what she's talking about.
Oh, she probably means.
Oh, well, but your voice. You're talking about your voice.
Oh yeah, I guess she means like if I like if cops or something, if they talk to me, they're not. Like as soon as I start talking, they'll look at me a certain way, or if I'm in like a corporate environment or something, and I'm talking, I think it's received differently. Because I've had coworkers and stuff that when I worked in call center jobs and different things, and they might be tatted up, or work when I worked in a warehouse with certain guys. If they were in a Zoom meeting with my bosses now that I'm on the project management team, we work for the same company. These guys may be just as intelligent as me and everything, but just it's going to be received differently.
The archetype. We tell guys that all the time. It's the archetype.
Yeah, it's always that archetype.
You guys, I don't know why these women are in the chat going ham, and you posted the link.
Oh wait, let me see. Let me read. I missed a lot.
Yeah, because they're in there commenting. It's you only got.
I'm tired of people in the big C center being the voice. Y'all are so far removed from everyday American life. Okay. Wait. That's one.
So far removed from everyday. The vast majority of people are in the big cities. I don't know what you're talking about. American life. Okay.
It's okay.
60% of your people are in big cities. I think more like 80% of your people in big cities.
I think that the majority, though, most people live in diverse neighborhoods, and is people in New York. Shit. Yeah, I don't think that's true either. Next, I was saying, based on the mix, you think will be segregated if your neighborhood is segregated? Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, 9 times I think. The thing is that they're actually classifying segregation differently. It used to be black and white, right? But now since you have others. Now it's white and non-white. So if you're in a non-white area, a non-white city, or non-white enclave, then you're going to classify it as segregated. So they've actually redefined what segregated actually is. But that doesn't mean that black men don't mix. Black men mix with just other people that are non-white.
But they measure it by different things.
Yeah,
right.
which won't last too long because they're gentrifying the cities. So they're going to force they're going to force white people into your area and force white people into your schools. So that means you're going to mix even more.
Philly is a horrible example. Do it in the big city since it's going
Well, because you can be tired of them, but guess what? Guess where the majority of people are? They're in big cities.
Yeah, that's where majority of black people are. Anyway, they're still in these
Where the
cities.
majority of people, period, are in big cities.
Yeah. Because that's where the action's at in these cities. Actually, they don't want to live in rural
Oh
areas.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of the rural areas, rural cities are segregated. The
Yeah.
vast majority of all white enclaves are are actually outside the metropoles.
All right. But basically, most communities run similar based on more on class than anything else. This is why
No,
the
it's not
educated
true.
names argument are
That's
stupid.
not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Since okay, they are trying to get the most notches. Okay.
Men like
I live
sex.
close to him. Lots of mixing. Okay. Because she's from
Close.
Philly too. Mel Investors from Philly as well. So let you know, Stefan.
Oh yeah.
These
You're gonna see more mixing because they force you to all go to the same schools. You force you to all go to the same schools. Guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna mix.
And she said white women date out a lot. Yeah, I noticed that too. Wait.
Not
We have.
really.
Is this you, Diana? Diana, is that you, Diana? Hello.
Yes, hi Terrence, how are you doing?
All right. How you doing? Good evening.
I'm
You know,
fine.
honestly, we got YouTube playing. Can I hear echoes?
She doesn't have a headset, I'm sure.
All right.
Okay.
Wait,
Oh
before you
no.
speak, Diane, let me scroll through these comments quickly. Here from my neck of the woods, so I totally get what he's saying. Okay,
I don't know who he is, but yeah.
they run the system because they're men that run the system. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Next,
Yeah.
you know that from the jump, we know that. And this is Diana's quotes. So I was thinking someone has never seen a person of another race. Like, what can y'all at least acknowledge that not norm in America? Y'all act like seeing a different race is unicorn. No, it's not.
Who said that?
All right. Diane, I think the more is talking about familiar, not just viewing. Of course, it's seeing one another, but we know one another is two different things. Yep. Melanie Vessel, thank you for clarifying. Just heard that imagining something that when there are these conversations that just sound so far fetched. Okay.
I don't. We don't even know where you're from, so it might be far fetched for you. You're young and you haven't. I don't know where you've been.
But if white women and black men is familiar to their neighborhoods, they do not bother harass him if he's with a white woman. Okay.
Depends. That's not true.
I can understand that. Okay.
It ain't true.
Is his voice? We said I read that already. Exactly. They do not bother those black men around here who date out. She's talking about Philly.
She's talking about Philly.
Yeah, I think so. I'm from
Wait,
Jersey. Oh no, I'm from Jersey. Chaos. I live in. Okay. All right, Diane, you ready?
Ask how many. Go to them brothers. Instead of assuming it, go to them brothers. See how many times they've been thrown on the hood. Don't assume. Ask them.
And she wrote here, I'm sticking to where I'm at. Okay.
Go to them brothers to date white women and ask them how many times they've been thrown on the hood. And how they approach dating a white woman. Don't believe me. Go ask them.
Okay. All right, you ready, Diane?
Okay, sure.
Is it the microphone or is this YouTube have on? Because we can hear you.
She probably doesn't have a headset, but she probably needs to get closer to the mic. She's probably on the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. You guys can hear?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
All right. You may go ahead, Diane.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that it doesn't escape me that when I hear a lot of these conversations, when the people say where they're from, it's always New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Atlanta, or Chicago. And you might sprinkle in a little California here and there. And that seems like the major places that everyone is from.
Dallas, Houston,
Hold on.
Miami, North Carolina, Charlotte, okay, Chicago, Detroit.
Detroit, okay, I'll throw that in there.
Just Chicago, Detroit, or Cleveland, Seattle, Portland. You want me to go on?
I never hear anybody from
Las Vegas, Phoenix.
I never hear anybody from Cleveland. We can throw in Detroit. But other than that, the ones I named, those are usually the communities that you hear almost all of this stuff from, right? And then they try to paint that like it's the majority.
You got to define what stuff is.
Just the whole, this is how dating is, right? This is how diversity is in America. This is how people interact in America. And all of it, almost all of it, just seems like it's very delicately only in those type of city centers that you will see that type of interaction.
Okay. What area of the country are you in?
I live in Indiana.
What state?
You know how many people from Indiana that
you mean Indiana, where black people are majority? That's safe.
There's some black people. Okay. There's a lot of black people. There's some black.
But when you say something like black community, to me, I wouldn't be able to point you into the direction of where that's at. Do you understand that?
Okay. So you're talking to somebody that grew up in a black community that is now mixed. Okay. That would start being bused to a white community in 1968. Okay.
Right. So your thinking process probably
my kids went to school in mixed neighborhoods, right?
Exactly.
My son dates Latinas.
Mixed neighborhood. Okay, my boyfriend's Latino.
In other words, that's classified as a mixed neighborhood now. My neighborhood is mixed. Most of my neighbors are Latinos.
Exactly. Why I'm saying the majority of neighborhoods are mixed. It's not the segregated thing.
They are now. They are now.
Right. So let's talk about now. Let's not talk about the 1968. Like, I don't like the framing that we're all segregated black people and black men never see other races of women and black women never see other races of men, and it's so abnormal for them to approach each other. Like, no.
We're the vast majority of really black enclaves. What cities?
I just told you New York,
Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, and Miami. Okay, because that's where black people are. Black people
Miami has a really high Hispanic population.
But
Miami in that at all.
And black people will tell you that it's segregated. They tell you that it's segregated. I talk to them all the time. They'll tell you it's segregated.
No, New York, Detroit, Flint, or wherever.
Chicago,
of course.
Atlanta, Houston, Dallas. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, those are the city centers that are black and seem to be the voice box of everything black.
Yeah, right? Because that's where the majority of black people are.
That's what I'm pushing back on. That is not those are the outliers in America.
No, they're not. It's not for black people. Go down south where there's a lot of black small towns where my folks are from, like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and see how segregated it still is.
Yeah, my folks are from Mississippi. Yeah,
and it's still segregated. Okay.
We've been here for I don't know how long. Move. That's my whole thing. Like, a lot of the problems that you guys are having is because of where you're living. That's what I'm saying.
Problems like what?
The whole problem you just laid out. You just laid out a problem of the lack of diversity, right?
I didn't say that.
Wasn't that your whole argument? I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Okay, what is it?
My whole argument is that there's a different approach that black men have to take, and that's been the whole argument, right?
No, and I'm telling you, dude, you don't know what you're talking about.
Have you heard my argument, or you want to listen to it? Tell me what my argument is, because you want to tell me what my argument is. Go ahead and tell me.
You're saying that there's a different approach that black men have to take when approaching white women, because the white women approach them, they don't approach white women. I know that to be a lie. Like, no.
Huh?
No.
I said I have a caveat. What was my caveat?
What is your caveat?
My caveat, unless they grew up in what? A mixed neighborhood. And even now, somebody just gave me a report, like, was it 2 months ago? Okay, about segregated neighborhoods, right? And the segregation is not, it's not, it used to be white and black, right? But now it's non-white, it's non-white and everybody else, okay? And it's and what the stats have shown, and this is stats shown, it's all over the country, right? It's almost as segregated as it was like 40 years ago.
Right. And do you okay. Do
Now,
you
now
okay,
I could go back and pull the stats, but you don't believe that.
do you
So
think
Diana, can I ask Diana a question?
Go ahead.
So Diana, are you asserting that you think that we should be more segregated or become less segregated? Because I
think people should be less segregated. I think in a segregated community you experience more issues. That's the whole thing that I'm saying. But I feel as though it's taken, I don't even feel, I know as though, oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear
you. You know what? Because you're what, in your early 20s?
No, I'm in my late 20s actually.
Your late 20s. Okay.
See that, if you ask if we can hear, it tells me the mic's not clear. I know I'm hearing the best I can. That's why I don't say that. But the people that's on the panel can hear you enough. So
yeah,
we'll rock what you have right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have all the fancy equipment and all that.
No, you're not a fast quit. I'm not sure if you're using your computer or your phone, but it's like it sounds like you're this.
Yeah.
I mean, because I live in one of the most diverse states in the country.
And what is that?
California.
Okay, that's another outlier.
Like, was it like 40% Latino? In fact, the majority of people in California is in California. So I live in one of the most diverse. Oh, we have Asians. The biggest group of Asians, Islanders, Latinos, white populations going down, and so I live in one of the most diverse states and cities in the country.
Would you say that California is a good representation of America as a whole? Would you say
No.
that?
No.
Okay, that's why I said it's an outlier.
The vast majority, if you go over flyover country, the vast majority of America, especially in the Midwest, for the most part in the Midwest, is still segregated. White people have never seen black people.
No.
So you've been to like Utah and Idaho and places like that.
Over the whole.
My daughter actually lives in Utah, and she tells me, and from what I've seen there, it's diverse. It's becoming a lot more diverse. It's a lot of different kind of people. There's a lot of interracial dating going on in Utah. A lot. My daughter, she actually interracially dates, so it's a lot of Africans there. So I don't know, like.
BGS, I think he's talking about more so in those type of states where they might have like one or two strongholds. The rest of the state is a bunch of middle and small sized towns where people are segregated. I think that's what he's getting at.
You go to Texas, man. Yeah, you can go to Texas. A
lot
of white towns in Texas.
Like in the majority of the country, which is not like on the outskirts of California, you might find a street or a block that you would say is a quote unquote Black community, you know what I'm saying? Which I wouldn't even really classify it as that. I would just say that that's the street, like when I'm just thinking about my city, that's the street in which there are some low income properties that people can live in, but usually people move on and move out and move up. Like it's not just like a cyclical, everybody lives there forever type of thing.
America is not as mixed as people want to lay it out to be. Even if you look at the stats, even look at the marry-out rate, even for marry-out rate for white people is only like 1 or 2%.
I mean, but nobody's marrying at all. I mean, come on.
The mixture, the thing is, it's
my
not.
kids did it. So some people are marrying out. My children did.
Some people are, but the thing is,
but they also live in a neighborhood. My kids were raised in an area that's predominantly white. So. Yeah,
that's not the majority of black people.
Exactly, I agree with that.
That's why I gave the caveat. You know, she keeps ignoring the caveat. If my kids were actually raised. You know, they've been in black neighborhoods and they've been in mixed neighborhoods, right? And I went to white schools. I know how it works. All the black girls that I grew up with that married white men went to school with white people. They were mixed. They were socialized to be around white people. That's why it's, I tell the so-called swirlers and divestors, okay, if you want to, unless you grew up in a mixed neighborhood, I said you need to get you some white girlfriends, get socialized,
Exactly.
be around white people.
I mean, I'm trying to agree with you, but I don't really. I mean,
I don't have to.
Yeah,
and BGS. Oh, sorry. I was going to say to BGS's point, because I argue with Cynthia G a couple times before she hangs up on me all the time. But I think the biggest enemy or the biggest competition for divestors, it's not even necessarily, Asian women or Latina women or whoever that white men might go after. It's suburban or fit and attractive Black women who are already in the social circles or social networks of these white guys. So why would a white guy with options choose some mentally ill divester when he could just talk to a regular, attractive Black girl who he knows through college or knows through mutual friends or whatever? That's divestors' real competition. Because a lot of these divestors, not even just based on looks, I don't see any of my white friends ever choosing them. Like,
no, they wouldn't.
Yeah,
they would. And even amongst Black women, that's still a very small percentage. You talk about, we can only go by marriage rates instead of dating rates. Talking about 2%. 2% of Black women.
Yeah, I think when were those stats though? Anyway.
Huh?
When were those stats?
The last stats we had is 2019.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, that's 3 years ago. It's like, you think people all of a sudden just made a radical change in 3 years?
Don't you guys really think that as far as like dating out and stuff like people want to feel comfortable, and for the most part people marry their own. They just do. I don't think it would ever largely be that people are just dating out, and it's not like that. That's just not, it's not like that. I don't see it ever being like,
it's overrepresented in the media for sure.
Well, the thing is that, okay, when I was young in the 80s, right, the marrying out was maybe like 1 or 2% for Black men. Okay, now if you go back just by the marriage rate, it's like 15. It's like 17% last time we looked at it, right? If you go by the dating out rate, it's like a quarter. That was unheard of when I was young. The trend is going because
that's pretty large. A quarter is pretty. A fourth,
it is pretty large. It's pretty large. If you look at the dating trends, you look at dating patterns by their surveys, just their surveys, right? It's a quarter.
A fourth? Wow, that's a lot.
It's a quarter. Yeah, we talk especially if you're talking about Generation Z's and up. Because I run a Black channel. I run a Black men's channel. You know what the first question I ask them for guys that have children, especially boys? What I ask them? Who does your son date? And why do they date him? And 9 times out of 10, they date him because they go to school with him. If it's not white, it's Latina, because they go to school with them. They're socialized around them, and that's the biggest factor.
I mean, my son dates out, and I wouldn't say that he hates himself or that he hates Black women. Definitely, he don't.
I
mean, he's been around them his whole life. He's been born here.
But the thing is, he makes a choice according to whatever his preference happens to be at the time. But he's not uncomfortable around them because around white.
But you know what he said to me? Well, I mean, when you think about it, it's 98%, 99% white women. Well, I would say I'll put it like 96%, and then I'll leave a little bit for Asian and a little bit for Hispanic and Blacks, which is the smallest percentage. Of course, I mean, who else he's going to date?
Who else is going to date? But even,
I mean, that's how I look at it.
Even in a 50-50 environment, even a 50-50 environment. I talk to. We have one of my subs. He's in Arkansas. Okay, Arkansas, in a Black enclave. Okay, his son goes to college. He don't date Black girls. He don't date Black girls because he's gone to college and he's mixed in with other races.
See, that's what I don't understand. Like, I think for the women, it would be different. Like, that's where I find it to be interesting. I'll say that, because if you're talking 50-50, I think most Black women would still prefer to date their own, and I think that Black men would sway the other way. That's just my opinion.
Well, black
in the
men.
50-50 agreement.
The thing is that I talked to him, so I know. I know. Okay, because I talked to him. Been talking to him for like 8 years. Okay, I talked to my son who doesn't date black women. Okay, I ask him, why do you date who you date? Because his mother is very, very dark, extremely dark.
Mhm.
How come you don't date somebody who looks like your mother? It's by the way you're treated. Black men, black
He don't
women.
like his mother? Does he
He
not
loves
like his mother?
he loves his mother, but nobody dates their mother.
Okay, so but
So
you saying it's about how you treat it. Like,
it's how you're treated.
are you
Yeah,
saying that a black woman couldn't treat him just as well as
because
any
we
other
have
woman?
black women have a different socialized. They have a different mating pattern with black men. So I call it the Klingon mating ritual. We have a different dating pattern, have a different mating strategy. Okay. And the first thing I get, I said, okay, because I asked him, I said, especially because I got a lot of Z's. I got my 20% of my subs are Z's, Generation Z. And so when I talk to him, because I said, who do you date, and why do you date them? Now, there's a group that will date black women because they're sexually attracted to black women. They don't like the look of others. Okay, but the ones that date out, guess what they tell me? You can guess. I said, how come you don't date black women? Because they're what? Mean.
I agree with everything you're saying, but it's
I'm not
crazy
mean.
when
I'm
you
not a mean woman. So I don't.
The thing is,
he's not saying you're a mean woman, but he's talking about your son dealing with someone that is black. His race is opposite.
Their perception of your mating strategy compared to some other group of women's mating strategy comes off as mean.
Well, what I'm
Well, I
saying
find
is
that strange because, like, where I live, there's a lot of Caucasian women, and Caucasian women are extremely aggressive. They are. They love power. They love power. They love it.
So
Like, that's where I get a little bit, All right, I'll let you talk, Diana.
What I'm saying is I agree with what you're saying, but I agree the other way around. From my vantage point, I don't see exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
And again, that could be because you're in California. I don't know.
No, because I've dated nothing but black women, and I've been around other women,
Yeah, I mean, from my vantage point, it seems like
I know the difference.
Where I'm from and what I've seen is that black women are socialized around other races, right? We work with white people, we go to school with white people. We're socialized around different groups of people. In my my opinion, what I've seen, black men aren't socialized for that. So I'm confused on what you're
how
actually.
can they? Okay, if black men go raised in the same family and they're in the same neighborhood, what do you mean they're not socialized for that?
Because listen, I went to a diverse school, right? But
I
when
did
I say
too.
socialization, we're not just talking about schools and stuff. We're talking about the actual culture. The black culture socializes black men to love the streets.
No, they don't.
So yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You been around white boys?
That it don't. Please do, because I gotta say this.
And what, you been around white boys?
Yes.
You been around them running the streets and doing drugs?
Hardly.
Hardly. What white? Okay, you must be raised in Utah, because that's not the white boy. I learned more about drugs going by and stuff going to a white school than I ever did in a black one.
Okay, so we're gonna act like that's not a thing. We're gonna act like rap music doesn't exist. We're gonna act like gang culture doesn't exist. We're gonna act like the school to prison pipeline doesn't exist. We're just gonna act
you know where gangster rap started?
With black men. I know. What else?
No, you know where, not who, where.
New York, one of those
Los Angeles, okay, Los Angeles, okay. So I go to a filthy rich white neighborhood, right, in Orange County. You don't know where Orange County is, but it's like 60 miles south of downtown Los Angeles, right, with nothing but white people around, right. I hear them bumping NWA. And they get out in Letterman jackets, out of BMW wearing Letterman
because
jackets.
they listen to NWA, they're in the Bloods and Crips.
No, I didn't say they were in the Bloods and Crips. I didn't say that. Okay, very few people are actually in Bloods and Crips. Okay, very few. What I'm
I
saying
think we got
is,
to be careful when we talk about all this type of stuff because it's different for different environments, different. I mean, like it's nuanced. All this stuff is nuanced.
what did Ice-T say about what do you don't remember? What did Ice-T say about who buys his who actually funds gangster rap in his rap? He said
Did you?
white people. 83% white people said most, and he was actually right. Most black people will get a record and dub it, right? They don't even pay for it, right? But a white guy will buy the CD, buy the tape, and buy the tour jacket.
That doesn't say anything except they have a vested interest in your self-destruction.
But one thing about and one thing I gotta agree with Diana about is that who lives that culture that when they go home, it might be like they might listen to the music, they might go to the but who envelops that into their world, into their daily world and their daily life? Because I'm around a lot of white men. I've dated white men and black men. So I understand what you're saying, but who envelops that more into their like they actually let that hip hop become their culture, become their way of life, the way of living. Big booty hoes and all that. Who is different? I'm telling you right now.
But I don't think those black guys.
Why is that street?
Jordans. We all know. Let's not act like we don't know.
Okay.
I can't do that.
Say, I don't think that applies. A lot of the guys that BGS is talking about, like these black Gen Z guys that date out, that doesn't apply to them. We're talking about
Gen Z.
We're just talking about like in general.
A minority, then, or is that what we're focusing?
Because most of the guys that date out, they would be considered either educated lame or
regular guys,
the preppy black kid or the black nerd. Wow. A lot of those black guys, I would say, this doesn't apply to. Even if I agree with you in general.
Yeah, and most of those guys. Most of the working class guys and below, they don't date white women. They date Latinas.
Well, my son is 27, and my son he
who does he date?
Growing up, he dates a white woman. But and I said that already. I have biracial grandchildren. But also
bachelor's degree or higher.
Yes. Yeah. Now listen, what I'm trying to say is that he also listened to NWA. Mm-hmm. And all types of hip hop music, and he also plays music, and he plays like the acoustic guitar, the electric guitar. Mm-hmm. He's been in screamo bands, as he's been in hip hop bands as well. Mm-hmm. Like he's more diverse. He's been into a lot of different things.
In other words, same thing what a white guy would be. He's diverse because that's what he grew up around.
I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong.
Okay?
Yeah, I can do it.
Or most guys are.
I can tell you why you're wrong. Okay, this is why you're wrong, right? Hip-hop.
Okay, why am I wrong?
Okay, because hip-hop is the new rock and roll, right? We all know that. Okay, so the heartthrobs of hip-hop are being chased down the same way that the heartthrobs of rock and roll did, which is why the urban aesthetic and the hood aesthetic is so appealing to white women, because it's the whole hip-hop rock and roll thing. So that whole, the educated lame is the one that's dating out is full of crap. Majority of the people that I see that's interracial, it'll be a white woman that's like a, went to college, got her stuff together, and she's with the bad boy rock guy, right? The rock and roll, bad boy. Like that's
what you see.
Well, I think a lot of the aggressive black guys or hood black guys, they just they're more attractive to women in general. They have more options, but a lot of these
but they don't marry.
If you were to go by the actual percentage, most of the black the guys I know that are black and long term dated a white chick, even if they didn't necessarily knock down or smash or date as many white chicks as my more hood friends, those were the guys that out of the less options or out of the lesser amount of options they had a bigger ratio of white women. Now, whether that's like a culture thing or their swag was they were just more compatible culturally with those white women, so that's probably why. But.
Yeah, if you take all the black guys that are in a long-term relationship with white women, okay, they're not the swagged out, tattooed down black dudes. They're not.
I would just say they probably smash more. Like they smash more white chicks than that guy. Yeah, they probably smash more chicks than him, regardless of race.
Yeah.
Most of those type of men, they've been with all different types of women, from Asian to black to they've been with everybody. So
Becky goes on cultural She actually practiced cultural tourism. So why would she get a Derek when she get a Hakeem, right? She want authentic. She want to have the black experience.
I don't think she would marry that person though.
No, she
She might
wouldn't.
date. She would date
I
him, but
haven't
she
seen it.
wouldn't.
If it happens, it's rare, and if it happens, then it's more like she's closer to the trailer park than she is to the middle class.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. My only thing about the educated lames is like educated lames. Why do they get so mad at black women for saying that black women don't prefer them? But in my opinion, like what, because growing up and being around, when I moved around white people, I was around 15 and a half. So I got a chance to live in the hood and then live around white people. So it's two total different ways of life. And my thing is, I don't understand because those white girls, when they date all the bad boys, the bad boys get top pick, no matter where you are. When you're young and you're bad and you're maybe
fun.
It could be the ones that's in the van and they got
bad boys are more fun.
That bottom line, that like no matter what community you go to, the bad boys get top pick.
They're more fun.
But I don't know why. So I don't understand why they're mad at black women for just being women. They just regular women, and they get, and it's not their fault. They get caught up into just the culture of it all. They all, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, all the women do that. I went to high school halfway with black girls, half with white, because of like just the nature of when I moved. And they all do the same. They all do the same stuff. They all want the bad boy that's into doing this, and he don't want to go to school, or he don't want to do. It's the same thing. But black men, the educated lame black men, why are they so pissed off at black women about that? I don't understand.
It's okay. It's really particularly simple, and this is what I found out because guess what? I talked to tons of them. Right. In fact, I did a video. God, when was that? 2015 about should the educated lames lead the black community? Okay, it's really about class, and unfortunately, the black community we have a very loose class structure. So they think that a big booty, what's a good upper class Tiffany, right? It's the same as a big booty Keisha in the neighborhood. Okay, and they think because they got more money, they have more education, they're more sophisticated, they're the higher class, that they should be able to get the hood man's Keisha or whatever you want to call her name. Okay, I should be able to get her because I got more money, I got more, whatever it is, and she prefers this dude over me. And it becomes a class mismatch. And
why do they even want her? That's what I don't understand. Why would they want?
Wait, guys, hold on.
Go ahead.
Snake Man, who's this? Hello.
Oh, Snake Man. Yeah.
Are you there?
Snake Man's from Germany. That's Snake Man. Snake Man, what's up, man? Speak up, Snake Man, so he can hear you.
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Hey, man, what time is it in Germany, man?
It's nearly 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. Okay.
So he's one of your people's BGS?
Yeah, he's one of them.
Okay. All right, we continue the conversation.
Okay.
Continue your talk with her. Go ahead.
It's really simple, and it's a class mismatch, and we have a very loose class structure in the black community, and so these guys, and I keep telling them over and over again, right? You're dating down in class because black men, all men are actually attracted by what? They're not attracted by class, they're attracted by looks.
Yeah.
And so Keisha the Keisha's as a 7, 8, 9, or 10 is the same as a Keisha that's in the upper class that's 7, 8, 9, or 10. Okay, but the thing is that unless you're a master of the universe and say you're an upper class corporate dude, okay, kind of hard for you to get the Tiffany's, right? Because they're going for the masters of the universe, right? So you got to move down a little bit. You got to compete for women that are at a lower economic class. I believe all class. I don't, I believe all classes are equal. So I don't get into the classes shit. But thing is, economic classes do matter. So you move down and said, how come Keisha don't? I went to college. I got a master's degree. Blah blah blah. How come Keisha don't like me over this guy? You're competing for
Yeah,
the. You're
because
competing for this
Keisha,
woman.
she's usually the baddest in that whole. I understand when she's the baddest. She's the 8, 9, 10.
She's
I get it.
socialized. She's socialized, and she's imprinted by the men in her class. And like I said, in fact, I got to finish writing my book. But the thing is, so you take
when is your book gonna come out? Come in here,
yeah,
my book.
I'm gonna try to for the end of the year. Okay, so you take a chick that grew up in the hood. Shout out to Bill Clinton, right? That gets loans and gets whatever, and she gets a degree. She gets a master's degree, and she gets a corporate job. Okay, and so you think that you're working next to Keisha, and Keisha's work is at the same level as she working a corporate job. She gonna prefer a guy that's corporate. No, Keisha's imprinted by a guy that's come picking her up, and he's at home. He's got a little job. He come picks her up in her car and drives her home because that's the guy she's imprinted on. So you have a lot of this mismatch. That's how come I asked Kevin Sanchez to come into it, because you got a lot of guys that are at that level that need to be cleaned up, because they need to be able to compete for the women in their class. And they need to know that, okay, all the women that are corporate are not going to be 7, 8, 9, and 10. They're going to be 4, 5, and 6, just like the vast majority of women. Okay, 70% of women are 4, 5, and 6s. Okay, 4, 5, and 6.
I don't understand why they don't just date, like, why don't they date educated lame women that's up there with them, the women that's actually are more socialized the way they were socialized. Why won't they just date them?
Okay, again, what are men attracted to?
But I think there's beautiful women in all different.
No. Before you say, but I think, what are men attracted to?
Looks.
Okay. Yeah. That's the number one thing. Okay, it's the number one.
So do you think that those women are more attractive? The Keishas, they're more attractive than the say Lorraine or whatever from in marketing? Would you?
If Lorraine in marketing may be a 4, she may be a 5, because a lot of your educated women are 4 or 5s. Okay, they're not the 7, 8. Normally, 8, 9s, and 10s get picked off. Okay, unless they come from an upper class family, they get picked off early. So you ain't gonna see you are not gonna see a Lorraine. The Lorraines are actually upper class, number one. But the thing is, you're not gonna see a Keisha that's 8, 9, or 10 make it up there and be Lorraine in HR or marketing. Those are rare.
Yeah,
she's gonna get picked off early.
Off the market.
And Tiffany's looking for Masters of the Universe. I know too many. In fact, some of my in-laws, or what I call the gold digger class, they're looking for Masters of the Universe. So if you're not making, if you're not valedictorian, or you big man on campus, or
like Steve Harvey wife, that lady.
Yeah,
she would be a Tiffany. Okay.
Okay. She would be in the Tiffany class.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd because I noticed, I see where you're coming from, and I would agree with that.
You don't have to. That done too much. I've been doing research on this for like 30 years, because my girlfriend was what I call a corporate climber. Okay.
No, I said I do agree with what you're saying about attraction and things. I just don't know if I've seen it translate cross-cultural. Right? I really don't know, because a lot of men that I've talked to, they're just attracted to power, right?
Nope.
And because of that, yeah.
Nope.
Yes,
That's women. Women are attracted to power.
No,
what men? What men she talking about? What group of men she talking about?
Are you talking about powerful women? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm just talking about men are attracted to power. They're seeking power. That's what they're seeking.
Some are, most aren't. No, some are.
And
most
they're
aren't.
going to attach themselves to whatever will get them power.
No, that's not most people.
I don't know about that.
That's not most people.
That's how I've seen it, because I've talked to some very, very successful people. I can't say they're necessarily black, right? But a lot of people that I know, they've attached themselves to their spouse based on the social class, based on.
So you're talking about white. You're talking about white men, though, right?
No,
because you just said
no, you talk about upper. Talk about the one. You talk about the top. You talk about the. You talk about the top. You talk about the top. You talk about the top 5% of people.
That's like they're picking based on with power in mind.
You talk about the top 5% of people.
Before we continue, guys,
go ahead.
My studio is full now. Who would like to drop down to make space for one person?
Oh, I can drop.
Stefan, can you drop for a little bit? Kind of mind the ladies stay up here.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you, brother. Come back again soon for another future stream. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And subscribe to the channel.
Oh yeah, I'll be back.
I can't tell you. Chaos can tell you. I've done. I don't know how many lectures I've done on this, and how many people, how much research I've done on this. And basically, if you got 40,000 subs, you get a whole lot of feedback. And I ran a women's channel for like almost 3 years. Get a whole lot of feedback.
Do you think more men should be attracted to power? Do you think that would be a
no? It was not. If that would happen, then your society would fall apart.
No, I disagree.
Okay, well, the thing is, if everybody's attracted to power, everybody's vying for power, right? Who does the everyday workaday work to keep the society running?
Some aren't they calling black people underclass? What don't you need to be attracted to power right now?
What I'm saying is, only so many people will be have the gumption to be attracted to power. Most people aren't.
I'm just saying, it's your turn. Why not?
You know, the thing is, people are people.
Because power is about responsibility, though, too. With power comes responsibility, and everybody don't want to do that.
Power is about ambition, right? And about ambition. The vast majority of people are not that ambitious. The vast majority of people want to come home, pay their bills, either watch TV or take care of their hobbies, maybe take care of their kids, and live a regular life. That's the vast majority of people.
All right, BGS. To let somebody else. Let me Snake. No, you don't drop. I want to see who else wants to add on to this conversation.
Okay, go ahead. Snake Man, drop down for a second, all right?
Okay. You want to drop down? Fine. No one's in the back. Everybody can stay. I just want to see if somebody else wants to speak. So, Snake Man, the floor is yours. You could add on, and after that, I'll have Letitia bring her input. Go ahead,
what exactly is the discussion? Are we talking about the dating dynamic?
Yeah.
Okay. What can I say? I'm an outsider looking in, and I listen to this space a lot because I live in a Western country, and I was raised here, but my influence comes from my father. That means I'm very African. And this space is a space with BGS and Chaos Reigns represent most of the energy, the male energy I need to sustain myself, because without that I would go insane here in the Western country because of all that feminist shit. It's grinding against your soul. And when it comes to the dating, so what I understand is very easy. The man who basically the educated lame, as BGS say. Basically, is a man who follows the greater majority's lifestyle, aka I get the education, I get the money, I get the power, and because I'm not on the upper echelon of a class, women of a lower echelon of a class should be attracted to me. That's basically how most societies on this earth work. Now comes the tricky part about the black community. It looks like that in the black community, because I do not know what exactly the American state did to the black community specifically. Women are not really, or the majority of women, let us say in the hood, because I always hear the streets, the hood, the ghetto, are not really attracted to those men and to those black men that has basically works their way in legal ways up the echelons and are rather attracted to the man in their class, in their environment. And because of that, these men are, let us say, angry because they live in the majority culture and they see, okay, so also in the other groups it works flawlessly for the majority, in our group it doesn't. So I just go out because I already invested a lot in that lifestyle. So if the black community is not compatible to me when it comes to dating and mating, I will go to the other communities where it works.
Yeah,
Is that the discussion?
yeah, basically. Yeah.
So,
It's somewhat,
so
but
do you think that we would benefit from getting rid of that the hip hop culture, having that intertwined so heavily into
Yeah.
our group? Do you think
This,
that would benefit?
It's not the hip hop culture.
it was
It is.
it's a bunch of things, but the thing is that hip hop culture stayed. Trust and believe in the late '80s and '90s, we tried to get rid of it. We thought it would just pass. It hasn't
because
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 there's too much money in it.
because I can tell you hip hop is very loved and consumed here in the West. I'm from
Hmm.
Europe. It means they cannot shut the fuck up about hip hop culture. Even barely any black people living there. Um, but consuming it or creating it is not the problem. Once again, it's the dating and mating of your group that is the problem. And when it comes to those quote unquote educated lame, one thing I don't understand, for me personally,
To
I
me,
get it. I get it if you grew up in those environment and you just don't fit in because you move differently. I get why you're mad, but man, just move on, man.
Yeah, they're starting to move on. That's the problem.
I mean, yeah, it was my generation. We're talking about the C's, my generation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
if,
everybody
yes,
moving on now. It's not just the educated lane that's moving on. There's a lot of different you know, people
Yeah,
moving on.
what I'm saying is because that's admixture is normal, right? And they started admixture and integration back in 1945. It normally takes about somewhere between 200 and 300 years to actually successfully admix, right? But this is forced integration because they want to get rid of the problem. Okay, the biggest reason they want to get rid of the problem is because you went from a rural to an urban urban population, right? Before 1960, 80% of people are still rural. Okay, now 80% of the people, I think it's probably more than that. 80 to 85% of the people are actually urban. Okay, so they have a completely different problem. So if you where the black culture actually worked or actually functioned, I wouldn't say worked, but functioned, was actually in a rural environment, right? You have a different culture, a different way of doing things, a different mating strategy that does not fit in an urban setting. So now they have to force all these people to mix and force all these people to actually become Americans instead of black and white. That's like they've invented a whole new class of people for Generation Z, right? Called people of color. There's a reason they put that out there. Y'all gonna mix, and we're gonna keep pushing people, destroying your neighborhoods, your enclaves that are black, white, Asian, whatever it is, and send you to the schools with each other, so that you will learn to socialize and mix. The biggest, I said, the
That
biggest.
might be that might be something to look at because I have a family girlfriend, a white girlfriend, and oh my goodness, all those white women in that family, all of them have biracial children except
Yes,
one, and it's like 17 of them only.
yeah.
So they have to. It's like you're gonna get used to these people because 16 of those grandkids, all those nieces and nephews,
Hmm.
like that, I could not believe like all of them,
Hmm.
except one.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
but you have the reason we're even talking about this, and Cassis can tell you, is because we have we have a group of black people, especially online, but not just online, that want to keep what we call ADOS or Negro culture intact. Okay, against all these odds, against all these
I mean, you
odds.
can't be mad at them that they love their group. They want to,
I'm
I,
not mad at them, but I'm explaining why I'm, I am okay. With me, I am pro-black. I am a black nationalist. I'm a black Pan-Africanist, right? But I'm also a realist. I can see the writing on the wall, and it frustrates me that other people keep preaching at black men, because they don't really preach this to black women. Okay, they preach it at black men that you need to not date out, or you need to go against whatever you see, or go against your
Oh no no
socialization.
no no no.
Hold on, let me
No.
finish. Let me finish.
Mm-mm. No.
Let me. You know, no, and I'm not even talking to you. Okay,
Yeah, but that was
I'm
that
I'm I'm,
was
ta- I'm talking to people like Chaos. Chaos knows what I'm talking about. I'm not talking to you.
But she's like that. She dates whomever. She already said that. She
No,
dates.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking to her. I'm talking about the group that wants to keep the black community
Okay.
intact.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
intact. And I get a lot of grief. I'm still getting a lot of grief by members online and offline about my stance. And I have no stance. The thing is, this is the writing on the wall. Okay, you can go against it if you want to. The thing is, for black men, especially people in the black community, you have no power to change this because this is out of your hands. And if
I'm
you put,
yeah,
if you
because
put,
look at
if
both
you,
of our kids. If you're saying you're a black nationalist and you have these
yeah,
ideals, but look at your kids.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
can't make my kids date who
you
I
can't.
they're gonna date who they want to date, marry
They
who they
they
want to marry.
they date who they're around, right?
Yeah.
They date who
And
they're
all,
around,
but then
and
then I feel it's my fault. Like I do, like I'm gonna be honest, as a black woman who do have more pro-black type ideals in my
mhm,
mindset and the way that I
mhm,
was raised inside of my
mhm,
home.
mhm.
But look where I raised my kids at.
Where you raise your kids at. You know, this was got to be, God, it's 2022 when I asked that question. Oh, it's got to be 15 years ago,
This is where my
2012.
mom brought me at though. My mom wanted to get out the hood and she
Yeah,
wanted us to have a better life. And
and,
this is
and
what that's the
and
choice
when
she
she
made.
brought you out the hood, and guess what? Guess who you started dating?
All different types of people.
All different kind of people, right?
All right.
That's where human beings work.
There-
Go
There's
ahead.
there's
Yeah.
there's a question on here, and I did promise the lady or the person they wrote here. So should people who are 6 lower in the attractive just stay single?
No,
Before anybody, before
but
people answer that, Snake Man,
No.
I have somebody, because my back chat only goes 6 people. So if you mind, sir, you could step down and let's add another
Okay.
person. All right, thank you, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, brother. All right, you can answer that question as I let
okay, okay.
Brown.
The thing is that what I do know,
Amiri,
anybody that has a son,
Hey Amiri. Look at me.
anybody has a son, anybody that has any kind of male kid, right? Men want 8, 9s, and 10s, but guess what they do? Men are very pragmatic about who they can date. Okay, they know after they get rejected enough, they know where their level is. So I have a lot of guys that date 4s. Okay, they will date 4s. I've dated 4s. Okay, you date according to your success rate. And I remember that I did this video, right? And this very famous, now she's famous, Stefco, right? She's a 4,
Mhm.
right? And she's the one that talked about pretty privilege. Okay, I can't tell you how many guys that were in my comment section that actually riff and talk about well, this chick's an 8, like beyond this chick, she's an 8. Obviously she's a model, she's an 8. Oh no, man, she's more like a 6. Okay, I said, but the thing is, you actually salivating over 4. How's that work? Men are very pragmatic. Okay, so 4, 5, and 6s can get it just like 7, 8s, and 9s. In fact, they get it more because there's more of them. Men are very pragmatic about who they date.
Okay, I hope that answered the question. Miss Letitia Underwood, you there? Welcome to the panel. I'm not sure if you want to answer the question that Boo Boo asked, but the floor is yours. You could expound to the subject at hand if you want.
Oh, hey, how y'all doing? So what we discussing in particular?
Amiri, I have a new person, Letitia. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you come in. I just want to get her thoughts on because she's been waiting for a while.
Okay.
Letitia Underwood. And Letitia, this is Amiri Brown on Amiri Browner show. He does content as well that focus on the same issues. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad I was able to catch.
Speak up. Can you speak up a little bit, dear? I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't hear me. Okay.
No, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yo, yeah, very loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for having me on the panel. I was glad to catch one. But okay, so 6s should date 6s and below. That's your lane. People have to get realistic about what that your dating pool looks like. So when you're out there on the dating market, when you are a woman, who approaches you that lets you know who you can get?
Thank you. Say that again, loud and clear. Say that again. I keep telling women that. Say it again.
Who approaches you that lets you know who you can get? And if you're a man, who is more receptive to your approach, that's who you can get. So the market tells us who our lane is. It's just that people don't want to believe that. People want to go outside of that.
I like you.
for the sake of they think that they're deserving of a better because they don't see themselves as that, right? So, you know, there's a lot of people who are not the top tier, and not understanding that the people that you're attracting, that's basically who you can get. So if you're a 6, right? 6 doesn't mean you're ugly. 6 means you're slightly above average. 5 is
Yeah.
average. 6
Yeah.
means you're cute, basically.
Yeah.
For a woman,
Yeah.
that
You're
means
cute.
you're cute. For a guy, you have a little money. You're not really built, but you're not, you know, you might have little issues, but you're not ugly. You have a little money. But for a 6, your lane is going to be no higher than a 6.
Yeah.
Unless you're a man with exceptional amounts of copious amounts of money. Now, if you're a woman who's a 6 in the face, but you have a really great body and you're maybe an 8, 9, or 10 in the body, you could possibly slide that way, but don't date according to the exception. Always date according to the rule. So stay within your lane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's common sense. I mean, but the thing is, what do they say about common sense, though? Common sense ain't common.
It's not so common.
I mean, basically the numbers tell you, you can show people the numbers all day long. If you want success, I say, why would you get? Because if you actually go by the scale, right? Between 4, 5, and 6, that's like 68.5% of people, right? As far as the look scale, right? If you go by the curve, right? Uh, if you get into 7s, you're talking about maybe 15%, right? Less than 20%, probably like 15%. Go to 8, you talk about less than 10%. It's more like 7.5. 9s are like if you get a 9, that's like 1 in 100. Okay, if you get a 10, a perfect 10, which is they're very rare, that's like 1 in 1,000. If you're a 10, basically you're a supermodel, or you on Steve Harvey's arm. Okay, you talk about dating millionaires. Okay,
Well, I do see attractive women not necessarily getting the best of the best all the time. I've seen attractive women with people that are less attractive, or some people luck up. That's all I'm saying. It's not it's rare, but some people luck up.
It is rare. What we talk about the laws of averages. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, if a regular guy gets a 10 or a 9 or a 10, yeah, that's the exception. That's a rare exception. In fact, most people look at him funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's a reason for that. So he either is, you know, he has some resources that she's benefiting from, or, you know, he's tall, and he has a nice build and he has a nice package. There's always going to be a reason why a woman who is that good looking comes down, or she's probably dealt with a lot of, you know, low value men. And you have to keep in mind, just because everybody thinks a woman is very beautiful, she doesn't see herself on the inside.
Yeah, that's true.
So she's dating as she sees herself, but that's very, very rare.
I think that can go both ways for men as well. I think that can go both ways.
Yeah, it does go both ways. But the thing is, normally when this is my experience. I've been around a lot of women. If you see a chick that's dating, you see a chick that's a 9 or a 10 or somewhere in that range, and she's dating just a normal working class guy. There's one or two things: either she's, like I said, she's broken and she's been through it, or she just happens to that guy fits her imprint. The guy might look like her dad, and that she grew up with, and she's attracted to that because she wants somebody like her dad. But it's extremely rare because, you know, if you think most women get a lot of attention, right? If you're a 9 or 10, basically it's very difficult for a 9 or 10 to actually walk down the street by themselves in most cities without company, because she's gonna stop traffic, and she can't walk 2 blocks without getting hit on like 10 times.
Okay. All right. We got the great liberator himself, the one on Amiri Browner show. What's up, Mary? What do you want to add on to the conversation? If he's ready. Amiri? Okay. Well, I'll wait till this mic get ready. Yeah, Letitia, everybody dates in their own lane. And a lot of people are not comfortable. And I think there's more comments. Wait, hold on, let me see. No one wants to take
I wanted to say. I want to throw something at Amiri quick.
Wait. Let me go for the comment section. But no woman wants to date someone that would prefer another woman over them if they had the chance. Okay.
Yeah, you would be surprised.
Can I speak to that?
You'd be surprised.
Like, here's the thing. If you don't want to be the woman that he's settling for, then be the woman that he's not, that he's choosing. Meaning, understand what men are looking for, the men that you want, understand what he's looking for, and then you do that. So if you have to lose weight, you lose weight. You have to change your hair, you change your hair. There's some, you have to understand what men are looking for. And if you don't want to be the one that he is looking, and he's only looking at, if you want to be the one he's only looking at you, then you have to be what he is looking for. It's just as simple as that. You're not going to be able to change their thought process and how they see you and how they view. So
yeah, I agree. I was thinking that that's what I was saying as far as the educated lames. Like for me, I'm not gonna date like if I find out that a man, he prefers white women, he prefers lighter skinned women, he don't prefer a slim woman. I'm slim thick, so I'm like I used to be a thinner woman. So if I knew a man he didn't prefer, why would I date that man? I'm not gonna take myself to, no, I'm not taking myself through that. No woman or man should do that. And then expect the person to like what they're not going to treat you right. It's not going to go right. I tell my daughters the same thing. Go to who prefers you, who you are their number one. You are their number one, and then you should be all right.
Yeah, better shot at it.
And then she says you can't change it. You're right. You cannot change your face. So therefore, then you deal with the men who actually like you with your face as is. The man who is going to, now that may not be, but the flip side is, when this is happening, it's men that you typically don't want. But then you have to get real with yourself and say, you know what? The men that I want don't want me, but the men that I don't want, they see me as, wanting to put me on the pedestal. They want to drink my bathwater, treat me like I'm the Queen of Sheba. So
And black men have a very wide dating range. Okay, probably the widest dating range of probably any other group of men on the planet. They have a really wide dating range.
Yeah, that's when it comes to casual dating. When it comes to marriage, black men are more pickier than any other group.
No, black men have a really, really wide dating range, and I'm shocked about what I'm not saying as an individual. I'm talking about as a group. Okay, as a group, they have a really wide dating range, and you'd be shocked at what kind of man will want a woman that's like over 250 pounds. Okay, and what kind of man wants a woman that's like under 120 pounds? You'd be shocked. It's like, really, so, and they ride for them. Okay, we really ride for them. So it's amazing how wide a black man's dating range, a black man as a group, their dating range is, the preference range is.
Let me read this one. So people should just stay single because average women are more likely to get abused by men.
That's not true. That's not true.
And she writes this: so ugly women stay single because it's better to struggle alone than with a man.
If you're black and you're an ugly woman, you're gonna get yourself a man. Okay, if you want one.
Okay, but see, they want high earning men, right? They want high earning men. The thing about high earning men is they're fine with 5s and 6s as long as your body is together. If you have a nice figure, and a great personality, right? Charming, networking, you're a woman of substance, you're cultured, you have something to offer, right? So the flip side is your face is not working for you, but there are other things that you can have to up your chances. That's your body and being a relatively healthy weight size for your height. It doesn't matter what height. I say if you are single digits, you're in there. So 8 and below. And although men don't date you for your money or education, being educated opens your world up to other things, networks, social groups. All of these things are going to be valuable to him, right?
I'll tell you this because like I said, I counsel men all the time, right? Okay. Money and class are two different things. Okay. You're thinking class. If you want a corporate guy got a bachelor's, master's, something like that. He's going to want a different kind of woman. If you want a trucker that makes $150,000 a year, you got a shot.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Yes, they do.
No, most of these women that I come across, that I talk to, they are looking for whatever reason, they want that dude who has the high lifestyle. That's what they're looking for, because they want the lifestyle. So I'm talking to a lot of those women, because those women I know, when they sit here and they say, well, I don't want a broke man, what they're signaling is, I want a man who has a really nice, lavish lifestyle.
Okay.
So,
because we always use money, and I said money is not the indicator. In fact, I did a survey.
They must be different. That newer generation that's very different than when I was coming up.
Yeah.
A truck driver, a garbage man, a person that, my mom, she dated, man, they, those yellow trucks that they dig the dirt out, those things. She dated those type of men. Those the type of men that my mom dated.
High earning working class guys.
Yeah, and my dad's a truck driver. So I don't like, but that's average normal. Like, who's gonna get, like, everybody not gonna get Rick Ross or Chris Brown. Like, that's not making sense. Who's thinking like that?
Yeah.
It's not even that many type of people to go around that's like that. That's crazy.
There is not. But the thing is that you look at Instagram and you look at Twitter and Instagram, you put people on your wish list. Okay. In other words, that's a lotto ticket. Which is one reason why Kevin was so successful, right? Because especially nowadays, right, with Twitter, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff, black women want a lotto ticket. Kendra G is actually going through the same thing, right? You get a 30-year-old overweight woman that's a 4 with 3 kids, and she wants a guy that with a 6-pack abs. She wants the classy guy, and she wants to want him to make 150 grand. Okay, that's a wish list.
Ooh, that's deep.
It's a wish list. It's a wish list. In fact, well, when COVID happened, I was telling Kevin, I said, okay, I said, economic stress, they're gonna need a chair, they're gonna need a man, especially black women, right? And then guess what? Are they gonna start at their level? No, they're gonna start right at the top with their wish list first and work their way down. That was his success. Okay, everybody wants a high value man, right? They want a high value man that wears a nice suits, who has a nice clothes, drives a nice car, lives in a nice house, right? With the nice lifestyle. So they're gonna start at the top, which they did. That's the wish list.
That's exactly what happened.
Melon Vessel. Amiri said you have a question. Ask a question. Amiri, you there? Hello?
Yeah. I wanted to ask Amiri.
This mic's working. Amiri, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Because
yeah, we can hear you.
Earlier we was talking about educated lames, and we talking about what we're talking about. My thing is, and I was saying to the panel, do they think that if we got rid of hip hop, like how, like that hip hop culture inside of our culture, do you think that would benefit us? And my thing is, like, that's why I said I don't understand. I understand a little bit better after this conversation about why educated lames get so upset with black women. My thing is, if we got rid of that, because I feel like like I said, all women do that. All women like bad boys and blah 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 blah. Yeah. So we could get rid of that. If we could get rid of that part of it.
Well, let me say this. That's a trope in American society where the women go for the bad boy. First of all, I don't even accept this whole, these false constructions of black masculinity where you have the Pookie and the Ray Ray and then you have the educated lame. Now some of y'all niggas just lame. Like, listen, I'm pretty smart. I'm educated for the most part.
But you're still cool. You're still chill. You're still chill though.
Yeah, I've never had a problem.
A lot of these men are awkward. They're not. They're awkward. And if you're awkward, and a lot of women gonna be turned off by you. Yeah, because they're not gonna feel safe. You're gonna creep them out.
Yeah, or if you're just unattractive, like some of these brothers are just unattractive, and that's what I don't like, because they can't get the women they want. They want to sit here and indict all of black society. So no, but it must be something wrong with black people. It's the culture degenerate. Nah, you're just not anybody's cup of tea, brother. Like that's just what it is for some. Not all of them, but for I say a good majority of them from the ones I saw, I'm like, well, I can see why you're having these issues with sisters. Like, I don't look at it like this thing where sisters looking at a brother, oh, he's educated, man, I don't want him. Like, come on, what sister wouldn't want a brother who's educated and has a corporate career, whatever you want to call it? She just don't want him to be a lame. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I never even used this terminology outside of social media. I came to social media and found this language here, but these are, like I said, false constructions of black masculinity. And to your question about hip hop, I think if you remove a lot of the subversive elements from it, it would definitely benefit us. It would definitely benefit us. Like, music is the voice of the culture.
I agree, because I think that, you know, women are gonna like you know, the guys that, but I disagree with, like, I don't know if you're saying this, but I definitely think that women do, when they're younger, college age, high school, they do tend to like that edge to a man, and if you want to call that bad boy, whatever you want to call it, but women generally grow out of that. The thing of it is, you know, making sure that you're not pregnant or have any children before that's the goal, to not have any, you know, have your fun in college. I'm saying men too, you know, meet new people and things of that nature, but don't. And I feel like that's where the problems started to arise, where people were, you know, teenage pregnancy and stuff like that. If you can make it through that, then I feel like things would be a lot better, like, for just on a whole, for black people. That's what I think. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I think generally, you know, women just don't want to be bored. You know, I think, you know, and I think they don't want a man who another woman don't want. You know what I'm saying? They want to feel like
nobody want that. Nobody wants something that nobody want. Nobody.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You see, so, you know, so I won't deny that there's a component to it. You know, that's a component to it. But, you know, I just don't think that, you know, just some black female hive mind that just makes sisters only want to choose Pook and Riri. And then look, again, we don't deal with the gender ratio imbalance. This is something I've been talking about since I came on YouTube. And a lot of our communities, it's just not enough. It's just not enough brothers to go around. When you compound that with dating out, when you compound it with mass incarceration, when you compound it with black male homicide, like it's just not as robust of a mating pool as we want to try and pretend on social media. And to what BGS was saying when he was saying how, you know, we preach this message to black men, well, why is that? It's because since the end of anti-miscegenation laws, they have dated out and married out more than any other male group. That's why. See, we don't have, like, other groups of men don't have to be adored to just to mate within their race. Only us. And so why is that? What's fueling that? Are we just going to pretend that what's fueling it is because it's just deficiencies with these black women, or is there a larger pathology or phenomena at place where we just inherently devalue what's ever black? That's the purpose.
Some of it is location. Some of it is location. Some of it is like where you live at. A lot of it is that.
That's the hypersegregation. It's all about you know, how we're spatially situated. I mean, look it up. Like there've been studies on this, and in predominantly white areas, the gender ratio is roughly equal. However, when you get to predominantly black areas, there's an imbalance where sisters outnumber brothers, and that's for something very specific. That's to reinforce through the structure a dysgenic breeding pattern. They do that on purpose. That's purpose. They do it through space. If you control a people's space, you can control how they breed, you can control their economics, you can control their politics. That's what they do, man.
So what's the gentrification and putting black people into white spaces, especially schools?
Say that again.
So why are they trying to break down the black neighborhoods and insert white people and others into them?
What do you mean? You talking about gentrification?
Gentrification, yeah. What do you think that's about?
They've been doing that. That's urban renewal. Like, I mean, let's just be real. Black people aren't going anywhere. White people aren't going anywhere. I mean, if you want to talk about, now we already know that we're creating new new sub-racial categories of people. But hold on.
Do you know what you said that's been going on? Do you know when it started? It started in 1993, right after what? The Rodney King riots. George Bush actually enacted it. It's called Hope 6.
BGS urban, they've been doing urban renewal. They've been doing it.
Gentrification on this.
It was just called urban renewal.
Gentrification on this scale has not been done in this country until 1993. Go back and look at it. I did. In fact, what's his name? Jason Black did a whole movie on it, a whole video on it, a whole documentary on it about this. We talked about that back in when he do it, 2015. About
okay, and what market forces are what market forces? Because we can't ignore that.
It's not has nothing to do with market forces, right?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Okay. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
So let me ask you a question. If you're a real estate investor, because when did real estate investing become fixing and flipping become a major thing? I would venture to say right around the 90s as well. And when you're looking to flip, hold on.
70s, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, well the 70s, whatever. But when you're looking to flip a property, the whole goal is to buy low and sell high. And so, and that's something I ran across when I was doing my fixing and flipping. How I got a firsthand glimpse at how gentrification works and how the real estate market itself plays into it. So there is a market component that fuels gentrification. Real estate investors are going to look for a distressed property, and 9 times out of 10, that's going to be in areas where you have two things: high renters and low income, and that's typically black areas. So there is a market component to it.
The thing is gentrification. If you go back and look, in fact, they did a documentary on this. God, and they must have done a documentary in I think 2007 or 2008, right around Washington D.C. They talked about all the federal money pouring into these gentrification projects. It's federal money on purpose. There's a reason for it. Okay, it's to make you mix and get rid of the black enclaves. That's how most of the gentrification projects are around black enclaves. Okay. PG County is not poor. Okay, why is it forced gentrification in Prince George's County?
So let me ask you a question. So what's the end goal? Are you saying there'll no longer be any such thing as a ghetto?
There won't be. No, there's not have. If you think about it, they don't mind a ghetto as long as the ghetto's mixed.
Oh, mixed ghetto. Okay, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on.
I didn't mean to chase everybody off.
You think the goal is to mix?
Yes.
Together, to mix together.
Yeah. To basically break up the black enclaves, right? They don't want a concentration of black people, because if you don't break up the enclaves where there's nothing but solidly black neighborhoods, large black neighborhoods, then they won't mix. If you don't mix, they won't integrate. They won't integrate. They won't add mix. You're going to have the same problem. Okay.
So that's why, I noticed in the city, they used to have those real tall, high-rise projects. They knocked a lot of those down. They're not there because that was like mostly black. They knocked all those down.
Yeah.
And made them townhouses,
townhouses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you had thousands of people fit, and now only hundreds of people could fit.
Yeah. And then they give the women that are poor like that Section 8 and move them out into what the suburban neighborhoods where they're around white people. The mixed neighborhood, right? Which is the easiest problem, because they did that in Los Angeles, right? Right after the Rodney King riots, all of a sudden, the next year they're building these big ass police stations that look like forts, right? And all of a sudden they're coming in and they knocking out all these freaking houses, and all this money just comes flooding in. Okay. All this money comes flooding into the central area. And all of a sudden you have black people moving out, Section 8 people and black people, poor people moving further out. And all of a sudden you have white and Latinos moving in. If you come to law, because South Central was a solidly black neighborhood. Solidly black neighborhood. It was almost Chocolate City. Okay. But after 92, 93, after the riots, man, they came in and clean. Over the last 30 years, man, you would not recognize the neighborhood. In fact, I got to go to a Zoom meeting about that because they're complaining about trying to preserve the last little piece where I'm at of a black neighborhood. We are probably one of the.
It's so true because when I grew up, there was no white people, and when I lived in New Jersey, there was none. Now, when you go back there to visit now, it's like, what is this place? It's nothing like it was when I grew up there.
When did you first start seeing the change, in your opinion?
Well, I'll say I probably was around. I moved here. I was around 15 and a half. I think when I went back around, it stayed the same about maybe 5 years. So that 95.
Yeah.
Okay, 95 probably in the 2000s, maybe. I don't know. It just like I was like, what is? It was like unrecognizable. So many white people just walking down the street. Like I'm like, where these people come from? It was strange.
They pacify it because they try to do it with us, right? They pacify it when they came from our neighborhood. First thing they did was because we didn't have all the homeless people were actually downtown, right? They're all downtown, like 10, 15 miles away, right? All of a sudden we had a flood of homeless people move in, right? And then we had a flood of that brought in crime. So we had a flood of cops moving in, right? They started harassing the folks, right? So slowly but surely black people started moving out because they didn't like because the crime went up. Cops were we had 2 helicopters dedicated to our little area, right? And slowly but surely it started to change because black people were encouraged to move. And they moved out, and so as they improved and stuff like that, now you have, like I said, what used to be a black neighborhood is now a black and Latino neighborhood, and now it's going to be a black and white neighborhood because I live like SoFi Stadium is like maybe a mile and a half from where I live. Now we have this big as $2 billion stadium, like down like a couple of miles from where I live. And you can actually see the change. You can see the money, see the change, see the tax rates go up. And every day, man, because we're one of the few black folks that still hold on to your properties. Man, you get calls every day. Want to sell your property, want to sell your house, want to sell your house, want to sell your house.
Yeah, I have I know a bunch of people that lived in those type of areas, and they are being propositioned to sell. And eventually a lot of them do give in and they do sell. Especially as they get older, they start getting older.
As you move out, and if they can't, force yourself. I hear that went on. What I saw it in Atlanta in 90, right before the Olympics in 93, right, 96. You can actually start to see the change. They complain about it all the time. So the black people kind of move out of central Atlanta and started moving further and further out.
So basically, it's working. What they trying to do, it is working.
It is working, yeah. Yeah, if I wanted to do it and that was my goal, that's what I would do. Because you can actually look at the because me and Jason Black look at the big enclaves like New York, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, the big black enclaves, right? Because when before the 90s, I think it was like Southern California had like almost 3 million black people, right? Now it's less than 2. They've moved. The prices have gone up. They've moved away. And they've moved out of the central city. So they moved to less expensive cities like Las Vegas and Phoenix. But thing is, those are mixed areas. So it's working.
So the goal. So it's going to be less black people, more mixing, more biracial people. So really, what they're saying is they saying in 2050 that the majority of people.
2053.
2053.
It might they're trying to accelerate for next 30 years.
After COVID, it might be sooner than that. Because even Biden, I think Biden on his call said 2045. So every year, because white folks are not living as long and there's a whole bunch of things that are happening to them, it might be sooner than that because they've already passed the as far as children being born. Okay, they've already passed the 50-50 mark. Okay. In fact, if you look at what we call the death cross, right, as far as demographics, right, there's more white people dying than being born because they already hit the death cross in 2013, and that's not just here. It's not just here in the United States. It's also going on in Europe. So this is something that's unless they can pull a miracle and turn all this stuff around, this is what's going to happen. That's like they're embracing this. Getting rid of the 1-drop rule. Okay, people of color is.
You notice all the ads. All the ads have interracial couples. All the ads.
Yes.
All of
Yes.
them.
Yes. Yes.
Like, what is going on?
Yes.
All the
Yes.
like it's
Socialization. Yeah. I mean, this is and it's not just here. It's all over. And we always look at black and white. We don't look at the Latinas or the Latinos. Don't look at them.
They trying to stick together though. It seems like I don't think they trying to mix as much.
what
I feel like they trying to make their own group stronger and trying to like take over.
Don't talk.
In a way.
You don't want to talk to the biggest fights that go on in Southern California between blacks and Latinos is over who the Latinos prefer. A lot of Latinas will take a working class black man where a white one wouldn't. I know. I see it all the time. I know because Art New Style actually it teaches at a used to be a black at an inner city high school, right, where there's black and Latinos. Okay, he sees it all the time. He sees it on the playground. If you put them together, they're gonna mix.
So there's not gonna be any one. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be what they call
it's gonna be probably some of us, but majority if the country's pushing miscegenation and absorption, a lot of people are gonna give in. Think about it. Most of the young people that's now Gen Zs, they're not really thinking of saying I'm going to preserve anything. A lot of them are mixing more and are thinking of doing so without no consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing I want to say this, Q. You only have a few more minutes to come up, Q. I put the link. If you're not gonna come up, I'm gonna end it here, Q. I want to ask one serious question. I'm not sure if you're familiar. BGS. There was this one Latino man that was on another person's podcast talking about he was opposing of the so-called reparations that black people are going to get in California.
Okay.
You heard about this?
I heard it from Art New Style. I haven't read it, but he's opposed,
so you can't expound on it.
He's opposed to it, but if they're going to give it to you, they're going to give it to you. Okay. If he's opposed to it, there's a whole lot of white people. There's a lot more white people that are actually opposed to it too. So
yeah, no, white people always opposed. They don't want to give niggas anything.
So a few Latinos.
They said, but more than ever though. As far as reparations, more than ever, white people agree with it. The percentages, I think it's like 30%. Where it used to be 10 years ago, it was like 5, and then but the reason why is because of the mixing. I think that is the reason why more is starting to grow. With they saying like because I mean possibly they can get their hands on some of that money as well if because these people are in their families.
It's the odds of you getting it is pretty slim. The best chance you had was like in 2018, 2019, we had a lot of political pressure and we kind of submarine that, kind of undermine that kind of stuff. Because if you give black people reparations, you're going to give black people a hell of a lot more power. It's a hell of a lot more power than they're willing to give the underclass.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I already told a couple of finance people if you get reparations, this is what you should do with it. And if black people actually did that and actually went for power instead of the money, you would shake up.
They want people to mix so bad, so why won't they give it? More people will move. More people will be in different type of areas if they had that money, and more people would be mixing.
You would not only change the United States, but you also would change other parts of the world. And they don't want to. That's called power in this system. That kind of money means a lot of power because you multiply it in the system, and they don't want that. That's a
But if they giving it to California, do you think they're making a plan where if they decide they're going to do it, they're going to do like just pieces by pieces, like this area get it first, and then this area, it don't like overflood the market?
We don't know. The thing is, California is just a small, the little bit of money that you get from California is not very much. Okay.
Yeah, especially cost of living of California
compared to a real national reparations bill. Okay. That's the granddaddy. What they're afraid of is if California does it, other states will sign on to it, and then you would have a national push for real reparations. And
so it's one state at a time. And I hope it's not that HR bill.
We'll see. We'll see. If they get ready to do something, man, it doesn't take very much. Look at Roe v. Wade, man. It only took them 5 years to really overturn that shit, and I saw it coming.
which they were going to return anyway, because they're looking at the numbers and they're saying, no, we got to correct this by any means necessary. And
yeah, that's why.
If they say that you non-black women stop aborting these children, we're going to do it, and we're going to put.
If you want to do Hail Mary and kind of save what you think of is the white race, or what we have come to know as a white race, that's what you got to do, because it's not just here. It's not you're looking at a sea change. Will there be white people? Sure, but will there be white people in the positions that they've been in? Probably not. And that's what they're fighting for right now. I don't go into it because I don't like getting 202 calls from Washington D.C.
We all know that, like what Roe. We already know what that was about. It is about the white woman's womb. That's what it's about.
Yeah, yes, that's why I said it.
Because even in Europe, they paying white women to have kids. They're paying those women to have children, white children, of course.
Yep, they are.
They're paying them. Yep.
That's why I knew in 2016 when I first saw the first heartbeat bill. I said, okay, Roe v. Wade is done for. I was just waiting for it to happen. I said I already knew what Supreme Court was actually going to do. I already knew.
Yeah, man. God preserve white life by any cost, by any means necessary.
You don't have to get 100%. All you have to do is cut out maybe 20-30% of the abortions, which is the poor class of women that actually have babies. That's all you really need. And they know they're not going to get 100%, but they're going to try to get like 20 or 30%. In fact, if you go back and look at Texas, a year after they put an anti-abortion bill, they had a bumper crop of children being born. So it does work.
Oh, it does work. Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back and look at. Go back and what do you call it? What was the name of the article?
No, if you have the article, email it to me. I'll read it and look at it, because I know that they wrote something.
If it was 2 or 3, but the thing is, the year after they passed the anti-abortion bill, all of a sudden their birth rate skyrocketed. So I think the biggest.
I think they will criminalize a woman if they do get the thing. They're gonna do time in jail.
They basically, it's not really the women; it's the doctors that they're going after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the doctors can be sued, and held accountable, and so the doctors, which is why it passed the initial Supreme Court challenge.
Okay. All right. Well, this will conclude today's stream. Any other closing remarks?
Thanks for letting me up, Chaos. This was interesting. I don't know BGS. I heard of him, but this is the first time. Hello, nice meeting you.
See, I'm not as vicious as they say I am. Am I?
No. You've been very respectful, very nice.
I'm not weird, am I?
No, not to me. But I don't know. Not to me. Night, Chaos.
All right, take care. Thank you.
All right, Chaos. Peace.
All right, thank you. I'm BGS IBMOR. And to all that was listening, 18, the highest 25 watching. This is good. I might do some polls for all subscribers or future subscribers if I should not do much content, but every once in a while have a look about this thing about interracialism between either non-black men or non-black women. I will put a poll sometime and hear from y'all and get y'all opinions. And I might start doing once a stream on this, possibly. And if any information or any videos out here that you ladies or gentlemen that you see that is somewhat important, please leave a comment. If you want my email, just leave a comment and say I have some, and I'll email it to you, and I will do so. Because personally, these are necessary conversations, and I talk about it, but I talk about it in briefs. I don't make a whole channel much as content in detail of this, but for the sake of conversation, for what I've noticed, I had to really do content personally, because these things have to be examined and looked at as a whole. Me as a person, I deal things holistically, and I break it down. I gave an overall perspective of how I see what we're seeing and what is the real intention of them putting it out here. So that's pretty much it. And please contribute to the channel. As you know, the Cash App's there. Don't be so shy. You know, contribute to the channel. I'd like to hopefully put back into this channel. Hopefully. But other than that, this is good. I'm happy. And like always, if you are new to the Chaos Rain channel, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the top notification bell. Do not hit no middle or lower. That's so good. Don't get nothing from middle or lower bell. The bell. The top bell on the subscribe button is where the party is always at. And also follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. And add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And please join the Discord service. I put the link in the chat room of Discord. Go back to replay and join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain. Be the one of many of the chaos. And you are the ones that will restore the order in which the world we live in today. And that is all the links laid out. Like always, thank you again for watching. And you know what it is. Until next. Let me find my thing. Until next time, the Chaos Rain.